and subscribe.
You're raping me. You know, when somebody says not to do something and you keep doing it, it's kind of like you're raping me. This is kind of like rape. You want to keep raping me, or will you respect the boundaries I set?
Are you high on drugs or something?
No, I'm just out walking.
That's good, kiddo.
And instead of lasting for 1 day, the oil in the lamp lasted for 8 days. And that is why we celebrate Hanukkah. Now, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question. What are you going to do when Jesus comes back and puts a boot up your ass?
We're looking for 2 child molesters.
We'll do it. Will we be getting paid?
You don't look like a regular rapist.
Feuer vor sich hertragen und wir erleben in unserem Zeichen wieder.
Diyor Allah'ın asılanları, severek kabulleniyor bu yolda olanları, severek kabulleniyor bu yolda olanları. Gülümseyin uçaklara, hak bize yeter deyin. Gülümseyin uçaklara, hak bize yeter deyin. Rabbimiz o.
Because there's no cure for sex offenders.
What? You can't pin this whole rap on me.
Why'd you lie?
It was all Mr. Krabs' idea.
So you slit her throat instead of kicking her head in.
Wait, it's not what you think.
Well, how did they get your sperm?
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a wonderful, what day is it again? Wednesday evening. We have so much wonderful stuff to talk about. We have Bear Creek Arsenal rebranding or trying to sucker some people out of some cash for the exact same product they've been selling everywhere. We've got PSA slander not being accepted. PSA slander no longer cool. Super lame. All my homies love PSA. Or something like that. And then we have Putin being vindicated once again because I am going to go through some of the gun bunny drama, not because I care about any of this stuff, but just because I hate women and I'm a misogynist. So I think it'll be fun to get an alternative perspective. Of course, with all of the things women have been doing lately, namely murdering their children and then empathizing with the women that murdered their children. Total Floyd death or something like that. Maybe you repeal the 19th while we're at it. Palmetto State Armory, or sorry, not Palmetto State Armory, Aero Precision back at it again. Maybe under new management. We'll see how that goes. We got cool new anti-drone technology, and just because I thought it was funny and the picture went so hard, we will talk about White Dudes for Harris, Dean Withers being accused of assaulting men, underage men, so boys. So we got a Jeff Epp 2.0 situation. But before we get into all of that, Richard, how's it going, homie?
It's going, bud. It's going. The news never ceases to amaze. Although some things are right on brand.
Yeah, well, it's like male feminist. It's like, well, yeah, you're a predator. They use the chameleon technology to get in close. You know, that's your mating strategy, is to get close to the woman by pretending to be non-threatening, but really underneath you, you're just, you know, another individual with certain tendencies, shall we say. And then, yeah, we got a bunch of rage bait and silly bait and Floyd cops shooting in the dark. That was funny. We got cops falling through railings. Also very funny. We got lots of cop shenanigans. Okay. But we might as well start with the first thing, which is that this was unfortunately sent to me. And that is that Bear Creek Arsenal, the cheapest stuff, I think they're still the cheapest way to get into the AR game. And that's actually what I started with. I started with 2 PSA lowers and 2 Bear Creek Arsenal uppers. I think I had a 10.5 and a 16-inch. And I think I did it Black Friday 2018. And that was like my first 2 ARs. And I think I got both of them for like roughly 400-ish bones, which is, you know, pretty insane. And you can still get BCA uppers and lowers and a complete setup for between, you know, 3 and 5, which is crazy. Okay. And the big 2.6, inflation might be ruining everything else, but Bear Creek Arsenal has held steady in their employment of illegal immigrants and in their practice of having little to no quality control and bringing out no new interesting products. However, something that they have decided to do, something that they've decided to get into, is to introduce a new brand called More Precision Arms. It will always leave you asking for more precision. A new standard, a new name. From the team behind Bear Creek Arsenal comes something new. Now, to them, I think they wrote that as like, you know, a little bit of an incentive, like from the team that brought you Bear Creek Arsenal. To me, I read that as a threat. It's like, from the team that brought you Bear Creek Arsenal, they got something else in store. It's like, please avoid. More Precision Arms, which is such a funny name, is our new premium line created for shooters looking for the next level in craftsmanship, refinement, and performance. This is more than a new collection. It's a new chapter. Now, when you hop over to their website, I do have to be a little careful here because the Tubes is not a big fan of certain things that you can show on screen. They are quite restrictive with that. But let me see if I can pull up an image of one of these bad boys and really see what we're dealing with here. And spoiler alert, the old Bear Creek Arsenal is much like the new Bear Creek Arsenal in the fact that it is the same rails, the same barrels, same uppers, same lowers. Maybe the furniture is a little bit different, but I wouldn't say that that's better. So what this is to me is, one, it differentiates their brand a little bit, but it also allows them to sell the exact same product at just more money, right? So let me go check the listing. Let's see if they have anything interesting in here at all. Sorry, can't talk. So the MPA, the More Precision Arms 416Rs, where More Precision Arms starts. 416R stainless steel, spiral refluted, chambered in 223 Wild, which is, again, you can just go to the regular Bear Creek Arsenal offerings and get that. Mid-length gas system on a 22-inch rifle or a 20-inch rifle.
Why?
That be longer? Because, like, isn't that the gas block right here?
Looks like it.
What is this? Let me check real fast. I can't show it on screen. 18-inch. Yeah, this should be a rifle length system. Why are we at a mid? This is an 18-inch gun.
Because they want it overgassed.
I guess, but they don't look at their key specs. Forged receiver. Yep, pretty standard. Rear charging handle. Yep, thank you. Appreciate that. Precision shooters stepping up from entry level. Hunters needing accuracy at distance. Buyers who want to know what they're paying for. There's no like what trigger is in it. You know, any other info you can give me? Split lock rail, heavy barrel, 416R, one magazine. And what is it, a 2-stage trigger? Did they even give you? Because it's supposed to be for, precision. So did they add any element to this weapon that could have a precision element to it? I mean, it's a heavy barrel. Spoiler alert, Bear Creek Arsenal already offers heavy barrels on, a lot of their lineup. They make a lot of heavy barrels and they do the standard spiral fluting. And you can get those barrels for like $99 because they're not that expensive. Maybe the muzzle brake is new, but that seems to be about it. So for me, it's like, if I knew nothing and I see one brand that's Bear Creek Arsenal and one brand that's more Precision Arms, and I'm like, oh, I'll just grab this one because it's a little more expensive, but it has precision in the name. So that one's got to be good, right? That one's got to be the one to buy right now. I mean, they are making some in 22 ARC, which I guess like that's interesting if you're trying to find a complete AR in 22 ARC. The cost, maybe that's attractive. It's just under 900 for a more Precision Arms, which again is just a rebranded Bear Creek Arsenal. That's really all that this stuff is. Good.
That's a lot.
Let me go check Bear Creek Arsenal, okay? Because I haven't been on their website in forever. But let's see if we were to find
$550.
Probably something pretty darn close. Because for an extra $300, like it's going to be made in the same facility. Because spoiler alert, if you just look it up, like it's the same company. It's Bear Creek Arsenal, more Precision Arms. They have the exact same address, so nothing has changed. It's not like it's different manufacturing. It's probably the exact same assembly line. It's probably the exact same QC. So this, oh my gosh, right now they have some on sale complete rifles for 330 bones.
Oh,
that's insane. Now let's see if we can find one though. Okay, I'm going to find an 18-inch 223 Wild and see if I can get one that's heavy barreled. All right, so heavy barrel 416R. Oh my gosh, guess the price on Bear Creek Arsenal's website right now for a 18-inch 416R stainless steel heavy barreled rifle.
$389.
You were very close. 401. 401 right now. Or you could pay $865 for the same thing. So to me, this is just a way to have a higher margin product, to sell the exact same thing, but have a higher margin product. Right? Because like best case scenario, if you buy an MPA, and this, I like that they did that naming convention just to kind of hide, because MPA is a brand that makes actual like high quality 2011s and other products, right?
Yeah.
But more Precision Arms. Best case scenario, maybe it goes through like only the best assemblers that they have. Enrique, he's the best assembler they have. Only he does those, and it goes through an additional QC check. And maybe it's only first quality parts that go through like an extra level of tolerancing or something like that. Right? That would be the best case scenario. Realistically, it's probably the same quality product, the same parts, the same assembly, the same QC, and they just marked up the price quite a bit. So Bear Creek Arsenal rebranding or separating, bifurcating into more Precision Arms is just a way to make some money, which I mean, it makes sense for them, rather than sell a basic AR for 400 bones or 350 bones or 330 bones. They can sell you basically the exact same thing and maybe fool a couple of normies for like 800 bones, right? It makes sense. If you can just sell the same product and make more money, like why not? Why not do that? BCA's Saber line, honestly, not a bad comparison there. Although the Saber lineup usually has better parts, but like the rail is the same rail, the barrel is the same barrel. It has maybe a different muzzle device. If it came with like the PRS stock and the really nice 2-stage trigger and, you know, like a really expensive muzzle device and maybe like a really cool captured recoil system, it's like, okay, well, now we're adding some value and we're differentiating the product lines. But as it's set up right now, it's the same thing, but way more expensive. No point in this whatsoever. So Bear Creek Arsenal trying to add something new and doing exactly nothing with it. So who's interested in this? Let's see. Let's pull the chat real fast. All right. What would you rather? BCA or MPA? More precision arms. Now, I do want to say that Bear Creek Arsenals can be accurate, but that's because ARs are pretty inherently accurate. And if you just throw in a heavy barrel, a heavy stainless steel barrel, then you're basically all the way there. You know, it's like, you know, your bolt matches up okay. You have decent ammo. It's going to shoot mostly okay. You know, so I think Preston Moore, aptly named in this case, I think he did testing on a Bear Creek Arsenal barrel and it held up fine in terms of like just the accuracy numbers that it put down, which is not surprising, right? It's not surprising that just, hey, here's a heavy barreled system that put out, you know, relatively decent groups with 5.56 or 2.23 match ammo. It's like, yeah, not that shocking, you know? Now, is it assembled properly? Is it going to last for 5,000 rounds? Of course not, right? Those are the things that actually matter, not just, you know, magically getting a good group out of a BCA. And I've seen BCAs that, you know, keyhole at 25 yards where the bullets are going sideways. I've seen, you know, people get barrels with no gas ports on them, with gas ports that are misaligned, you know, with threads that aren't aligned, with bores that aren't concentric, that can't accept rounds because the chambers aren't cut properly. You know, all of the problems you could have with Bear Creek Arsenal, I have seen. So more precision arms, it's just a more money situation. That's all that is. Focus Trip has BCAs had. I don't have any BCA parts anymore. Actually, I just rebarreled a Bear Creek Arsenal for somebody who's local. And he had a Bear Creek Arsenal upper receiver, I want to say. And so I rebarreled it with a Criterion Core 14.5, or was it a Roscoe Husky 14.5? So it went from a 14.5 carbine to a 14.5 mid. Went from a, you know, the CAC or the BCM rail to a BCA rail to a BCM rail, and basically just redid the entire thing to make it not a hunk of junk. So, all right, well, that is enough. Patterson Lax for 48 says, I had keyholing with Delta Team Tactical. Spoiler alert, Delta Team Tactical buys all of the Bear Creek Arsenal seconds. You know, any of the project overruns that Bear Creek Arsenal has, they'll sell off dirt cheap to you know, Delta Team Tactical or some of these other companies that are out there buying up the cheapest components that they can, which is how Delta Team Tactical can put together an AR for under 400 bones, right? All right. They are desecrating my good name. I apologize, Mr. Moore. Sorry about that. It is what it is, though. Now, speaking of it is what it is, we have perhaps the rant of the century. And this is a ethnic complaining about PSA slander, okay? Because, listen, I've been known in my time to put out a couple of statements, okay? He made a statement about PSA. And not all of them have been particularly positive, but this man will simply not accept PSA slander. The ethnic will not accept the slander of the rifle of his people. 7,000 likes, 800 comments. PSA commented on there as well. But let's go ahead and just get into this fine, distinguished young scholar's take on firearms and whether or not it should be respected. Spoiler alert, his standards are rather low, I would say.
Let's have a quick hot take conversation real quick.
Palmetto State Armory slander will never be accepted around me. Okay? This is an amazing company.
Why? It's like, because they put out cheap products, y'all. Because it's cheap, y'all. Because I can afford that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no bougie AR. Shit, man. You know, I'm finna trying to get out here and get a Gap for 300, man.
Go fucking argue with a brick wall. Oh, Palmetto.
Well, wouldn't you like to know that arguing with certain types of people is essentially the same as arguing with a brick wall?
Piece of shit. Yo, I don't accept that. Palmetto State Armory is a
Accept it or not, it is the case.
company that genuinely fucking cares about its customers. Their
Palmetto State Armory genuinely cares about its customers. Like when they canceled all those projects that their customers wanted. That Palmetto State Armory, the Palmetto State Armory that stopped shipping to, states like Washington and others before laws got put into place because they were a little apprehensive and their lawyers told them to stop. That Palmetto State Armory? Are we talking about the same company here? Yeah, Gecko Chaser is correct. None of them care about us. Like, why do you believe? Why do ethnics have this? Well, they're perfect corporate shills isn't the right word. Cattle. They're perfect corporate cattle usually because they're so accepting of their overlords because of some feigned niceties that they happen to internalize. And so like Palmetto State Armory never done me wrong, foo. So they good, man. They love me, man. Shit.
constantly engaging with their customers. If they post a video on Instagram and you be like, man, this is a dope gun, nice job, they always reply to all of the comments. Okay? They take their time to make videos, talk to their customers, answer questions. Customer service, mwah!
Look, I don't know if you want to talk positive about customer service when it comes to PSA. Like, you can just go and read all of the horror stories, like, before they get deleted from their website, of course, because they delete all the negative comments. Isn't that so nice of them when PSA deletes the negative comments on their website? But you can just read up on all of the horror stories when it comes to PSA's customer service and the quality of products that they put out. What this guy is saying is, I own a few PSAs and I don't shoot them enough to learn that they have any problems. Anytime there's anyone positively talking about a PSA product, almost universally, with almost no exception, they have not shot it over 1,000 rounds. If they've done anything more than maybe mag dump into trash a couple of times. And if that's how low your standard is for the word amazing, right? If anything can meet the standard of amazing simply by allowing you to mag dump into trash, like I just don't take you very seriously when you say amazing, right? That word just doesn't have any meaning anymore. You've just ruined that word now.
Mwah! You feel that Southern hospitality over the phone. And their guns, I love them. I'm a jackal guy. That's me.
This is my personal hell. This person was created. Yakub created this person specifically to piss me off. Nothing else. This is an affront against me personally.
Love jackals. But Palmetto State Armory slander will never be accepted around me or on this page. Let's have a quick hot take.
Honestly, that's not even a hot take though. It's just the average ethnic take. It's not that crazy, bro. Palmetto State Armory doing the heart hands emoji. And I will say that Palmetto State Armory does respond to a lot of positive PSA slop. They will almost never engage with anything negative. Never. I mean, which is a wise take. Okay. Again, if you want to make money and you want to not engage with the haters, quote unquote, never respond to anything negative ever. Never do that. Always ignore anything negative. Always boost anything positive. Okay. Because you should never give the haters playtime if your goal is just to, have a positive reputation among, people such as what you see on screen here. People simply don't care. Palmetto State Armory cares more about their customers than Staccato at this point. That's possible, but two crappy companies doesn't, it's nothing special. Shifty Extras, correct ethnicity, says absolutely no PSA slander. They also make the 2A affordable. They have an important role. I don't know, guys. PSA does have like cheap products, and they do sell, like, have some good sales on, other people's products at certain points in time, right? But it's like their PSA Freedom line is the same thing as like a Smith & Wesson Sport 2 or Sport 3 or any of the other big box companies like generic ARs. Like, the prices are pretty comparable, and it's hard to denote better amongst like the bottom end of ARs, but they're all like pretty similar quality. And what PSA is actually known for, like this guy himself, as he brings up, is a Jackal. But a baseline Jackal is over $1,000. A Jackal 9, a regular Jackal, a Jackal 308, like they're anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500. So they're not cheap. They're not budget. Their 2011 that's coming out will be around 2K, maybe a little bit under 2K. A lot of their newer products that people are excited for, their AKs, their Saber AKs, 1,500 bones for a Wasser 10 essentially with nice furniture. It's like, yeah, I mean, they're cheaper than Sons of Liberty Gunworks, or they're cheaper than Geisley. Not that much. It's like a Geisley on sale for 17 versus a Jackal at 13. What's the better buy? I can't figure it out. That's crazy. It's like, I don't know. Like, PSA used to be cheap. They used to only offer cheap stuff. But anymore, their Saber line is more than BCM. Their Jackal line is, mid-range in terms of price. And their new stuff that's coming out is going to be quite expensive. So I don't know who's really excited for the budget aspect of PSA. PSA for life. Dude, look at the quality of people. Look at the quality of people saying PSA for life. Right? I mean, this is who we're dealing with. It's not, I mean, it is stereotypical to the nth degree. Is their QC perfect? No, but will they make good on their customers' issues? 100%. Yeah, again, I haven't seen that personally. PSA would be the greatest company ever if they would give us the 50 BMG and MP5 clone. Now, that's an old take. Okay, that's ancient lore, because PSA, oh gosh, 2018, 2017, maybe even 2016, was threatening to release a MP5 clone. That never ended up happening. Nico the Dawn, PSA makes quality products. They don't price gouge, again, unless you look at their more expensive products. They believe in arming the people. They educate the consumer on the product and back it for life. People mad because they spent more and got less. That's almost never the case. Smell like broken here, dude. So true. You need another like, sir. PSA got me in the door. Well, I think that's fair. I would say the same for myself personally, but that doesn't mean that you don't, improve and grow. You don't have to stay the same. Okay. PSA has come a very long way. Noveski or nothing. L take. All right. Now, this is the other side of the spectrum here, right? We got Joe Price over here. He's saying Noveski or nothing inside of your lifted Ford truck. There are two sides of the spectrum. Okay. Both are autistic AF. But there you have it. The ethnic defends PSA to the death, because PSA slander will not be accepted on that page, but it is accepted and, in fact, incentivized here. All right. Let's see here. What do we got now? Do we have to deal with this? Do we have to talk about this? I think we do. Nobody's forcing me to. I'm just saying I think that we have to, because it would be funny. So, once again, the wise old take gets rolled out every time it happens. Tap the sign. You need to autistically hate every woman, all women, except your wife. Basically speaking, there's a few other people you could throw in there. Your mother, your sister, your daughter, the Theotokos. There's a few other women you can put in there. But for the most part, just hate all women. It's going to get you through a lot in life. If you just distrust all women in every situation, no matter what, if you just don't listen to them, don't opine for their affection, don't care about their opinions in life, if you just ignore them viciously, you'll be so much better off in life, like 99% of you. Okay? Let's see here. So we have the Battle of the Gun Bunnies going on, and It's so obnoxious, right? Now I watched Ben's coverage of all of this, and of course it was funny. He even did an interview with one of them, which I think we're going to be taking a look at. Not the interview itself, but the individual. But it's funny, okay, because the women are fighting amongst themselves. Okay, they're gatekeeping the whores, and I want to gatekeep the whole scene. Okay, I don't really think any of you need to be here, right? Like, I get your purpose and existence for companies and to, make it seem like the space is inclusive or something like that. But I'm not for inclusiveness. I'm not for, DEI or any of this stuff. And I'd actually really like to gatekeep everything that I enjoy. It's like Warhammer. Hey, you like Warhammer? You like your fantasy series? You like your sci-fi series? Just gatekeep it from women and gays. Just all of them. Yeah, no, you just don't get to take part in this. Sorry, but this just isn't for you. It wasn't meant for you. You don't belong here. You shouldn't be here, and we don't need you, frankly. So, how do I say this? This woman, Kylie XX Fit, is a model, and by model, I mean prostitute. And she is getting into shooting, and by getting into shooting, anytime a model slash prostitute gets into anything, whether it's golf, whether it's video games, whether it's streaming, whether it's guns, it's just to push. It's just to push porn. That's all it is. It's just model OnlyFans degeneracy. That's all it is. Anytime you see a woman, it's like female golfers. What is it? All right, it's porn. Female gamers. What is it? No, it's porn again. It's like everything that they do, it just revolves on the fact that there's a price tag on their body worth about $4.99 a month to simps online, right? Congratulations, retarded Indian scammers find you really attractive, which is such a low bar, right? Now, this is going to be a OnlyFans whore gun gal, gun bunny thing versus like some of the more prominent respected women. And I use the term respected women as in that they are respected in the sport, not that I personally respect them. Right. So Brenna Gaston, which is one of the best female shooters alive, I believe, responds to Kylie XFit, who again is the OnlyFans degen. Says, you'd have a hard time believing I've only been shooting for a month. Quoting her, says, no, Kylie, it's actually very obvious. Now, I find that hilarious. And if you're somebody who dislikes this type of woman, Brenna Gaston, don't back down. Don't cower from this statement, because she actually came out later and was like, oh, I accidentally sent that DM to her. I didn't mean to send that DM to her. I was trying to send it to one of my besties, but I accidentally sent it to the woman in question, which is such a gay foid thing to do. It's so backbiting. It's so obnoxious. Pat bite correctly. Yes, 545 Power has the correct take. TFD minus my wife. That's basically it. And yet don't back down. Just go with it. It's way funnier if you just tell the OnlyFans whore to her face, actually, you do suck. And actually, I don't want you to be here. Okay. You can go suck somewhere else, but not in my sport. All right. It would have been way more based of you, Brenna Gaston, if you had just, told her off, had some metaphorical balls, so to speak. Now, Kylie XFit responds to this with the Instagram post that kind of kicks it off. Happy people encourage, successful people support, and attractive people compliment. No, women are liars. Like, just all this foid nonsense. No, women just lie. How many obese, hideous monsters get told by their friends, in quotation? Women don't really have friends, just tools, right? Nobody hates women more than women do, except for me. Okay, I'm gunning for that top spot. I'm not there yet, but I'm gunning for that top spot. How many just obese Gorlock the Destroyers get told by their besties, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. Oh my gosh, Slay Queen, that crop top looks so good on you. You're so brave for wearing that. Oh my gosh, wow. No, women hate women. It's like, no, attractive people don't compliment. Successful people support. No, some of the most successful people ever in existence, in fact, the most successful people ever in existence, backstab, murder, steal, and destroy on their way to the top. That's how successful people actually get things done, right? But this is like female coded success, which is like, I run a business that's, that's funded by my husband or my ex-husband's alimony payments or something like that. That's female success right there, is losing $1 million a year on a business that you don't care about because it's from somebody else's money. That's female success right there. Anyways, we will delve into the female psyche or lack thereof.
I've only been shooting a month. No, Kylie, it's actually very obvious. The one thing about me is that you will never see me putting down another woman for trying. Not on social media, not in fitness, not in shooting, not in any.
See, you're just a liar though. I guarantee you today, Miss Kylie, I guarantee you today you've put down innumerable people in your life. Like, does anyone know how women actually act to one another and to other people, how they talk? Like, yeah, that's what you do. Like, gossiping is your thing. You're a foid. Like, I would never do that to you. Personally, I only build people up. I'm not like you.
Any space that I'm fortunate to be a part of, especially not in the firearms community because it's already so male dominated. I want more women here. I wish.
Yeah, see, I don't. Yeah, no, thank you. I don't want more of you. I want far less of you, actually. I want to gatekeep so hard when I see a woman that's like an anomaly, it never happens. Now, fortunately, where I'm at, there are no women, basically. I mean, there's a couple, okay? And you're always kind and courteous, of course. But yeah, no, gatekeep your sport. The sport's not for women. Gatekeep your hobbies. Your hobbies aren't for women. Warhammer's not for women. Nope. No, thank you. I don't want you involved. I don't want your opinion. And I don't want you guiding any franchise or really anything that I'm interested at all. Yeah.
I had more girls to train with. I wish more women felt comfortable picking up a firearm for the first time, taking a class, asking questions, being bad at something for a while and learning without feeling like they're being judged. I've only been shooting seriously for about a month and a half, and I know I have an insane amount to learn. I'm not pretending otherwise. When I said people are surprised by how recently I started, it wasn't saying I'm better than anyone.
The bird hands. I need you to kill me right now, Richard. I need you to reach through my screen. Just end it. It's just over, bro.
Anybody. It was me expressing gratitude for the incredible people who have taken the time to teach me and how much progress I've been able.
Now, remember, when she says these things, these worthless platitudes, it's just a front. Everything that she says is a way to funnel people towards her other content, which has to do with, her assets, right? Her physicality. It has nothing to do with short shooting. She does not care. She's not an ambassador for anything. She's not trying to further the sport, right? Further the community. She's not an asset to me and you. She is simply there to funnel more eyes onto her porn, essentially speaking, right? She's a model, which is just a prostitute. Now, I find this funny because Brenna Gaston. Now, Brenna Gaston is an actual shooter. She actually cares, and she's actually really good. She's one of the best female shooters out there. I still don't care, okay? I'm a certified hater. I knew from the beginning that being a woman can make certain opportunities, attention, and sponsorships easier to come by. I can't control that. What I can control is what I do with those opportunities and how I choose to represent myself. Have I made mistakes? Absolutely. Have I learned from them? Every time. But one thing has never changed. I want my respect in this sport to come from my shooting, from the work I put in, the way I compete, and what I'm capable of on and off the range. Attention is easy to get. Respect is earned, and that's the part I'll always take the most pride in. Now, that is her response. I believe this was before she backed down publicly to the OnlyFans chick. But if we're being real here, like, is the type of content she's putting out, like, to me, this is just Foyd's gatekeeping, like how, I guess, provocative they're allowed to be, right? If you just look at like this footage side by side on their Instagram pages, is one or more of these less provocative than the other one? I mean, it's like, I don't. This is your Instagram page. You're just gatekeeping how much of a whore one can be, and the other one's like, no, I'm just a whore. I just don't care, right? So again, you can like be a good shooter, and you can have love for the sport and be a better ambassador or whatnot. But yeah, I gatekeep. I just don't really want you here. And she's probably a way better shooter than I am. Who cares? You know, it's like it totally irrelevant to the conversation at hand. I am a certified Floyd hater here. Okay. There's like 3 women I have. Again, respect is a strong word, but any sort of interest in their performance or capabilities or their methodology or anything else like that. And the list is so short that trying to be open and let's get more women into the sport is the same thing that any company says when it's like, oh, we need to be more diverse. It just means we need to remove opportunities from men or certain types of men and give them to other people. And spoiler alert, if anything has to be given to you, you didn't earn it and you don't belong here. So moving on, though, I think there's a response in here somewhere from another bimbo, because this is what happens. Okay, when the gun bunnies start talking, and there's different levels to being a gun bunny, of course. There's like the I'm not a gun bunny, but I use my physicality to get sponsorships, all the way to I am an OnlyFans whore, right? And everything in between there, right? You have like Lena Michalik on probably the far end of like I use my performance to make my way in the sport or life or whatnot, all the way to just a generic OnlyFans chick in whatever sort of sport or environment or hobby that she takes place in. All right. So then you have Full Metal Jessie, and she has her own opinions on things. I say that as if women have opinions on things, right? Women are like kids, when you turn the lights off, there's no object permanence. They kind of just turn off. They kind of just stop working. Like the world stops existing when you can't appeal to some sort of outside force. So let's go ahead and break this down, shall we? Let's listen to this.
On gun bunnies. You're ruining the culture. This is America. We like guns, big titties, and desecrating the American flag to make apparel for the 4th of July.
Right. Yep. This is America. We're degenerates because we've been turned into that by our greatest ally. We know what America stands for in the Big 2-6: degeneracy. That's what America is. Degeneracy.
What a great idea. What if anytime we see someone expressing any remote interest in firearms, instead of pulling them in and teaching them firearm safety, how to be a proficient shooter, or adding another great 2A advocate, what if instead...
Hey, maybe a little side note. Maybe an OnlyFans whore prostitute whose only interest in the sport is attracting more eyes onto her OnlyFans page. Maybe that's not the actual 2A advocate that I'm interested in. Maybe that's not the type of competitor that I'm interested in. It's like, again, we just change the morality structure. If murder rapist man is like, hey, I want to get into shooting, and you're like, no, actually, I don't want you here. No, actually, I don't think you're a good advocate for this sport or this space. No, thanks. Right? Just, yeah, maybe you should be selective and gatekeep who you let in and out. Pretty simple.
We shame them. We drive them away, particularly women, and push them out of the community so they feel as uncomfortable as possible.
Based. Thank you. That is correct. That is ironically the smartest thing that Jessie has ever said. Yes, exactly. Push women away from the sport, make them feel uncomfortable, get as many of them out as possible, and make sure that any women that are here are held to strict moral standards. And if they fall below those, remove them immediately. I 100% concur, Jessie. Thank you very much. Kiko says she fixed my tinnitus. Yeah, she's accidentally based or ironically based.
I love it. Jarvis, write that down. Who fucking cares? They're models. You don't get mad when Nike puts a chick who's never played tennis in her life in a tennis commercial because
I don't play tennis. But you know what? Maybe if I was a serious tennis player, maybe if I was one of the best tennis players in the world, maybe I would care that my sport was being brought down to the level of, Nigerian intellect. Oh, titty on screen, make dick go wow wow. And like, that's what my sport was. Maybe if I was a professional tennis player, maybe I would care about that. But since I'm not.
it's a model. You don't really give a shit. You shouldn't. And if you do, maybe you need to take a little internal look at yourself. Why does that make you so insecure? Why are you so bothered by this?
See, this is what women always go to. It's like, oh, you're just insecure about a hot woman. You're just insecure about somebody being attractive. You're just insecure. You're just insecure, which is, again, the most female coded thing to be. Like, what are all women when you boil down to it? insecure. Like, listen, if I was a 36-year-old hitting the wall, like maybe I would be insecure too. Okay. If I had no one to spend the rest of eternity with, I would be insecure as well. Right. I get it. Okay. The wall hits you hard and fast, and it's not looking any better for the future. You know, the future prospects for a woman like post 30, congratulations, you lost out on life. Sorry, girl. You know, maybe fire up the OnlyFans while there's a couple of years left.
You know what you could do that's better with your time? Go dry fire. Or maybe work on pulling that stick out of your ass, because all you look like is a jealous little fuck. And if you're so worried about it, maybe try being hotter. Go to the gym, get a nose job. I don't really give a shit. But this is an ugly look, and I don't like it. Stop.
It's not an ugly look, though. Who cares? It's funny AF. Yes, call out. It's like, listen, if you have a problem with anything, you're just a prude. You're just really evil. What's wrong with me aborting 10 million babies a year? What's wrong with me strangling 3 of my own children because I felt a little sad one day? You're just kind of a prude. If you have a problem with that, maybe you should remove the stick from your ass, okay? Because you're just being a little uptight here, bro. Woman logic.
Shaming people in this community. Who cares? You see a girl that's out there in a bikini, you know what? Go fucking help her. I'm happy to see anyone out.
No. I don't think so. Maybe we just don't encourage that type of behavior, and we strongly stigmatize it to where we just bring back shame. You know, a little bit of shame goes a long ways. Lost Era says, damn, how much for her to yell at me like that? Probably not as expensive as you think. Again, post-wall women, okay, the prices drop off a cliff, okay? They're no longer in that premium meat selection. You know, it's like you walk in the grocery store and there's that discount meat section. Post-wall women just filling up that discount meat selection.
Out there that's promoting firearms safety, our Second Amendment rights. That's what this is about. America. And being so real, that's part of this culture. And that's what makes it so fucking sick. Big tits, guns, fast cars.
Yeah, see, women just can't be in charge of our culture. If they're like, you know what's cool about America is degeneracy and materialism. Isn't that so cool? And aren't I so cool? Aren't I so based in American because of like sex and materialism? Isn't that so cool? I'm such a goy. You're such a goy cattle. All right, bro. Maybe there's more to life than that. Anyways, gosh, do we have more? We do have another one. Gosh, dang it. I hate that. We have another one. So another woman is like, take me seriously, please. I'm not like the other chicks. I'm a real woman, okay? I don't use my physicality to get attention from men. I would never. Take me seriously. I am a serious person. This is the serious person face. Being pretty was never going to be my only credential. Awful bold of you. I worked hard for a long time to earn respect for my accomplishments. All I will continue to do is be a good role model and be respectful to others. PSA to ladies, if you want to be taken seriously, put in the work, choose skill over clout, and never stop practicing. But I will say this, instead of using the phrase gun bunny for me, feel free to use the phrase world champion. It's got a better ring to it. And it's like, yeah, you're a fantastic shooter. That's all well and good. No problems there. But I just kind of don't take your opinion on anything. James is saying, mommy voice, please. You got to stop, okay? The boys have got to stop. You got to calm down a little bit, okay? World, I'm not a woman. I'm a world champion. Don't look at me as an object. I'm a world champion. All right. Very, very woman-coded moments. Anyways, this is why you never take women seriously ever, because they're all psychotic, okay? That's why the 19th... this whole universal suffrage thing, it's all got to go away. My apologies. Actually, I don't apologize. But sorry, ladies. It's been a good run. You had your shot at this whole equality thing, but we've just decided that, nope, we're all good there. Wake up, America. Women have been reaching new levels of WTF lately. Very true. A deranged mom filmed herself pouring hot wax on her kids and starting a fire in the kitchen. I love how... Have you guys seen, as of late, hopefully not because you're not on social media and you have like real lives and families and whatnot, but women set up like crying videos. You know, they'll do their TikTok video where they're like, oh, I'm so sad. I'm so depressed. I can't get out and I have a kid and I'm just so sad. I don't know what to do. All that sort of like really melodramatic stuff. But you know that they take their camera, they put it on the tripod, they set up their little light. They hit the record button. They go lay down on the couch. They pretend to cry for 15 to 30 seconds. They use their kid as a prop, maybe. And then they're like, okay, got that out of my system. Let's go down. Let's sit on the iPhone. Let's open up iMovie. Let's edit that. And then let's post with some AI generated caption and tags. You know, it's like, it's so performative. It's so disgusting. Women shouldn't have access to the internet. I'm going to take it that far. Not only are we kicking women out of all sports almost entirely, except for like, I don't know, Olympic dishwashing, but we're just no more social media. It's absolutely ruined your brain. There was a new study that came out recently that said TikTok actually damages parts of your brain. Totally believe it, by the way. And TikTok's audience is mainly women. So no social media for you. No real need for the internet outside of maybe some communications and maybe a few other platforms. Again, you know, Amazon Home Essentials or something like that, right? Will allow you like limited access. But for the most part, yeah, no, just sorry, guys, to save the country, you're going to have to upset a couple of foids. And if you're uncomfortable with doing that, if you're like, oh, I don't know, what will my wife say to me? Like, if you're too concerned with what your wife will say to you to save the country or save the world, gonna need you to get out of here, bro. You're gonna need to hop off this ride, okay? You gotta be this tall. And again, this is coming from a short guy. You gotta be this tall to ride this ride, and you're not cutting it, okay? Sorry, bros. To save the world, you gotta tell Foids no. It's crazy. Just a couple of times. Audio, mic volume. It's on.
It went up and down really hardcore when you were adjusting.
It's because I touched it for a second. Move your mic. Shut up. It's fine. It's fine now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. My apologies for touching my mic. Well, I would apologize, but all right. Let's get to one more story before we cross the hour and get to some of your guys' support. And that is the untimely death and rebirth of one Aero Precision. Now, we've covered Aero Precision for a long, long time on this channel during the ups and downs. They have had problems for years post-COVID, really, or even maybe a little bit before COVID if you go back a little further. So they were having issues with quality control, with actually getting products out, with shipping products. They've had problems with basically everything, right? They've had problems paying their suppliers, paying their Cerecoders. They still have, as far as I'm aware, $30 to $40 million in outstanding debts to certain people. And that's the full trifecta. That's going to be Bear Creek Arsenal, or sorry, not Bear Creek Arsenal, Ballistic Advantage, or Aero Precision, and what's the other one? Stag Arms, right? The three of them that are kind of sister companies. But now we have an update. Famously, at SHOT Show this year in 2026, they had a booth. They paid for a booth, but they did not show up. They sent nobody out. They had no product. They had no displays, and it was turned into a lounge area, which was very funny. So now they have come back. Kind of. We'll see.
Hey everyone, it's...
Oh, actually, you know what? I have the full video of this. I'll just play it from here instead because this is going to be way higher quality.
Hey everyone, it's Gunkle Sean with Pew Pew Tactical, and I have some breaking news for you. I got a call from the CEO of Aero Precision last night. Now, that's a company that has been around for many years and was very often the first build kit that a lot of AR-15 enthusiasts got into. It's a brand synonymous with quality and value, but lately they've been struggling getting parts and having availability of.
Well, I mean, listen. When's the last time when you guys got something from Aero Precision? A year? 6 months? I know that they said they had some Solus chassis in stock a little while ago, but almost everything, bar none, was out of stock on their website, on distributors, on third-party websites, on their dealer websites. Like, almost everything was just gone. Either they weren't producing anything, or all that stock was already promised, or they weren't able to get any stock because they had, basically defrauded their material suppliers, their Cerecoders, their lenders, all this other stuff. So, I mean, for me, like, I haven't gotten any PSA, or sorry, any Aero. These companies kind of blur together in my mind. I haven't gotten anything from Aero probably since the middle of last year.
Anything to build has been an absolute struggle. A lot of back orders, and believe me, Aero Precision is aware of it. I was just told last night that a judge has approved the sale, and that includes everybody under the brand. So Ballistic Advantage, Stag Arms, and the other company, all four are going under this sale, and it's going to get approved. And hopefully this will mark a turning point for Aero Precision. Now, there's a lot to do. There is a whole lot that's going to have to happen before they can start making things right again. But I'm rooting for them, and I hope you are too, because they're a great brand, and I'm optimistic that this change is going to get Aero Precision back on the board and back into our workbenches where we can start building stuff again. So while you've got the opportunity, jump into the comments below and
Fine, we'll jump into the comments. Okay, sir. Now, I mean, Aero Precision was a interesting value proposition back in the day. I think their value proposition has gotten a little bit worse as of late. I mean, especially as of late, considering you can't get their product anymore. But their prices were more expensive. So when they came out with their, what was it, the M4E1 Pro line with their new hand guards, their new ambi lowers, their new upper receivers, like pretty decent parts selection for the most part, right? Ballistic Advantage came out with a Cold Hammer Forge chrome lined barrel, which I've actually used a couple of those. I thought they were fine. But their prices were kind of insane, right? Because they were selling their new Mod 4 Pro rifles or whatever it was, Mod 1 Pro rifles for like $2.5K, which is like more than Geisley for the same feature set. So if you're going to be charging those prices, that is a huge uphill battle in terms of the amount of value you got to slap down on that table to make sense from a buyer's perspective, right? For your value proposition. Because remember, your Aero Precision, you used to be known for cheap lowers, cheap uppers, and hand guards you could slap together in a couple of minutes, right? Everything else was like, I don't know, VG6 Precision. It's like, okay, decent muzzle devices. I've seen those around quite a bit, you know? It's like the Lahar 30 was okay for a time. And it's honestly, if they had just held out a little bit longer, maybe they could have taken advantage of some of those suppressor sales going on, right? So anyways, let's read some of these comments real fast. Put me in charge, says Poop Dynamics, Truk. We are excited for the next chapter and are thankful to see all the support. We know there are a ton of questions, and we look forward to answering them in more official announcements coming soon. It's the Moon family of car arms. Interesting. Wish Aero nothing but the best. Until they sell individual 308 BCG firing pins, don't tell me, oh, just buy a whole new BCG instead. They're new to me. That's funny. Make Stag for lefties only. It's pretty much the same thing. It could be Aero's lefty department. That's funny. Bring back the M4E1. I agree. Gun Collective sounds good on the surface. I'm skeptical until more info comes out. I 100% agree. Because due to the nature of the sale, I'm imagining whatever family, whatever, multi-millionaire, billionaire family took the risk to buy Aero Precision with like, again, $30 to $40 million in debt as they're standing right now, not including their machines and stock that they have on hand. Like, I'm pretty sure they had to assume all of that debt, right? I'm pretty sure a judge would not have allowed the sale of Aero Precision without some promise to take on the debt or some cash influx to satisfy the debt before the sale. Something had to happen there to resolve that issue because, again, they had a huge backlog from vendors, lenders, suppliers, and everybody in between that they owed, right? So they owed a lot of money, Aero Precision, before they officially shut down. So Aero Precision isn't dead. New owners take over as manufacturing restarts. Now I need to have the verification, okay, that manufacturing has actually restarted. Back in May, we asked a question a lot of people in the firearms industry were already quietly asking, is Aero Precision going out of business? They were and maybe still are. Aero Precision and its sister companies were dealing with layoffs, lawsuits, unpaid vendors, disappearing inventory, and mounting questions about whether one of the best known names in the AR-15 market was going to survive at all. Now we have an answer. Aero Precision isn't going out of business. In fact, the company tells the truth about guns, that it's coming back under new ownership. And White Wolf Capital is completely out of the picture. Now, I forget when White Wolf Capital originally bought Aero Precision and all of the sister companies involved, but that was kind of the beginning of the end for them. You know, you have a private equity firm come in and buy up another gun company, as we have like JJE and a few other big, corporations, overlords, whatever you want to call them, right, that own a bunch of other companies. And sometimes they do good with them, rarely, but sometimes, and usually they go quite poorly when you have these private equity firms running a gun company. Like they're not particularly incentivized to do well with them. And there's maybe a more conspiratorial lens where private equity firms buy up these gun companies to purposefully run them poorly. A source inside Aero Precision confirmed to TTAG that the receivership process has been completed and Aero Precision, Ballistic Advantage, Stag Arms, and VG6 are transitioning to a new family investment group. The official announcement is expected later this week when the transaction formally closes, but TTAG was cleared by the company to report the details ahead of that announcement, and here are some of the important details. White Wolf Capital is out. The biggest piece of news for anyone who has followed Aero's problems over the past several years is this: White Wolf Capital is no longer involved with the company in any capacity. Aero's information provided to TTAG states that Aero Precision, Ballistic Advantage, Stag Arms, and VG6 are moving from private equity ownership to a family investment group, with White Wolf no longer involved in the business in any way. That is an important distinction. The new ownership group has chosen to remain private. Who are they? No idea. It's not the Botkin family. That would be quite funny, but I don't believe it's the Botkin family. And we're going to respect that. What Aero would say is that the group consists of successful, self-made business people with experience actually building and operating companies. They aren't currently firearms industry players, but according to Aero, they are firearms and outdoor enthusiasts, Second Amendment supporters, and supporters of the military and veteran communities. Now that right there, that should be a bit of a red flag for you all. And the reason why is that they have no experience in the firearms space, whether that's manufacturing, whether that's the community, whether that's the online culture, so to speak. And are they going to be able to come into a bad situation, a very bad situation with Aero? Aero has tanked its name, tanked its reputation, tanked their customer relations, everything over the last couple of years, right? So is a company from the outside going to come in, understand the situation, have the money, the time, the tools, the experience to actually right that situation? Every time I mention Aero, he's like, yeah, what's up, man? I know. During a conversation with our source inside the company, the difference between the incoming ownership and the previous private equity structure was emphasized more than once. Read into that what you will. Aero, Ballistic Advantage, Stag, and VG6 are staying. Another important question was, what would happen to the individual brands if Aero's financial problems were eventually resolved through a sale? For now, the answer is they're staying. The business will operate independently under Aero Ballistic Holdings LLC, while Aero Precision, Ballistic Advantage, Stag Arms, and VG6 will remain distinct brands and core parts of the company moving forward. That's significant because there were plenty of possible outcomes here that could have looked much different. A buyer could have acquired the assets, intellectual property, and manufacturing capability while killing off brands. Pieces of the operation could have been sold individually. Manufacturing could have been consolidated or dismantled. According to the information we've received, that's not the plan. Instead, the new owners apparently see value in what already exists: recognizable brands, established products, experienced employees, an existing customer base, and substantial American manufacturing capability. Aero says the goal isn't to reinvent the companies, it's to get them functioning again. Now, what is interesting, I feel like it would have been pretty simple to just consolidate all of the brands under one name, right? So instead of having Aero Precision, what's up, man? Ballistic Advantage, VG6, Stag Arms, like you could have just put them all under one umbrella and probably gotten away with it, right? Like, hey, going forward, we're just Ballistic Aero or Aero Ballistic, and that's it. No more of this other nonsense stuff with the 4 different companies operating as one. We're just consolidating inventory. We're consolidating websites. We're consolidating all of this stuff. And we now just work together. So you want parts, you come to us. You want barrels, you come to us. You want muscle devices, you come to us. It's all on our website. It's one place. All the dealers have to deal with one company rather than having 3 or 4 companies to deal with. Just make everything simple, reduce all the overhead. You could probably fire like half of your sales team if it was brought under one roof, right? And I'm not saying that, oh yeah, firing people is always the best solution, but I'm saying that you could definitely streamline a lot of things to make it more efficient for you. Of course, changing the name on ownership paperwork doesn't magically put uppers, lowers, and barrels back on a dealer shelves, and probably won't for years. Keep in mind that this will take a very long time to meet any backlog that they have. And meeting demand in this market currently, where it's a little bit down, they could get that right away, but I'm kind of skeptical a little bit of that. Arrow knows that. The company says manufacturing is already ramping back up, supply chains are being restored, and employees are working through the substantial backlog of existing orders and other commitments. So listen, maybe by SHOT Show next year, you might be able to buy an okay selection of Arrow Precision products and others. Maybe. Kind of doubtful, though. Maybe the end of next year, you could see a good selection come back. Maybe by the end of next year. All right. I think that's it on it, though. I'm not overly pessimistic, but I'm also not overly positive on it. I think that it's definitely better than whatever they were doing with White Wolf Capital, right? But whether they're actually going to make it back, that is to be determined. We shall see if they actually have what it takes. Spoiler alert, many companies have tried to do the same and have failed. Will they be the first to break the curse? Kind of doubt it. All right. Let's get to your guys' support now. Frank Castle for $10 says it's 9:01. It's officially late and gay again. Yep. Every day. Always. I'm just always going to be late to stream unless it's a joke or something like that, or I'm early or whatever else it might be. But yep, never doing a 9 to 5 type job again where you're 1 minute late and you get, written up by the boss. I always thought that was retarded. It's like, listen, my work here is better than everybody else's, and I know I'm an asset to the company, but you're upset that I'm 1 minute late. Like, I can't be bothered with this. So my mentality is always like, no. I press start when I want to press start. If I don't want to press start, I don't. That sort of thing. Thank you, Frank Castle. I appreciate that. Very generous of you. Chud Holden for $5 says, Richard, that thing Moonman made and George Droid is for sale at Moonlight Industries, apparently. Turbo-based? George Droid at Moonlight Industries, huh?
Really?
Let's see here. Moonlight Industries. What is George Droid? Is it like a patch?
Yes.
Is it cool? Why is their website so slow? Frog shirts, gong tees. Oh, that's funny. They have the clanker targets. That's good. Let me pull this up for you guys. They have the clanker targets. Disturbingly accurate. Thank you, Judge. Moonman for $5 says what Chudge said. All right. Well, fair enough. Thank you. Thank you, Moonman. Thank you, Chudge. Coppertone for $20 says dogs are out and playing Empire Total Wart while watching the stream. TFD and some shanty BTM right now. Richard SS Sweeney. Wow. Thank you, Coppertone. That is insanely generous of you. And some big toe money and SS Sweeney coming up. Do you still have the one?
I gotta go digging for that one. Let me see if I can find that.
Find it quick.
This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy. I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy. I'm too gone. My feet feel good. Your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Moonlight has funny targets. I mean, that is the target, isn't it? That's the target that we're looking at. That'd be funny. Thank you very much, Coppertone. Appreciate you, sir. Moonman for $25 says going to work back soon. Okay, Yoda. Ignore Coppertone AI slop is lame. Some of us care enough to make the cursed PFPs. All right. Well, that was the worst $20 you ever spent, Coppertone, but I appreciate it, good sir. You got like 20 seconds of SS Sweeney. So $1 per second. I feel bad. But thank you, Moon Man. Appreciate you. Little Booty Fart for 500 joules says watermelon. Totally agree. Very good sentiment. Thomas Jefferson for 10 joules says hiding. Truk. Check the attic. Chudge for 10 joules says gold coin. Appreciate that. Bomani Igloo for 2 says no one likes Jenna. Jess is okay. Shot with both. Nobody. See, you're saying their names, and I already don't remember who is who. So I'll just take your word for it. Okay. They're women, okay? Who cares? Thank you, Bomani. I appreciate it. Ray Polocost for 5 says, what first focal plane LPVO has the best 1X? I'm joining the crowd, but I don't even know what's good out there. Press F for Fishback. 10% of the vote. You know, he tried. He didn't do anything, but he tried. What first focal plane LPVO has the best 1X? The primary arms, PLX-C. And there's another one that I'm thinking of. Why can't it come? It's not coming to my mind, but the primary arms PLX-C has about the best 1X for a first focal plane LPVO. I'm sure the chat will fill you with other recommendations, metaphorically speaking. Thank you, Ray Polocost. Chud for 5 says, Browns keep buying your awful PSAs. When TND commences, it'll be easier to ice you when we have actual firearms. Go, doctor. You're basically brown. Richard, gassy. Are we doing the bidding thing where it has to be higher to actually get it?
I think probably should have.
The Razer H... do your thing. Sorry, I saw something in chat. The Razer HD Gen 3 is not a good 1X. It's a terrible 1X. The Gen 2 is a second focal plane optic and has a fantastic 1X, but it is second focal plane and therefore does not meet the criterion of a first focal plane LPVO. The Razer HD Gen 3 1 to 10 has a terrible 1X. No, thank you. Dillweed for 2. For 5 says, the lack of gatekeeping has led to gays to move into women's turf and women to move into men's turf, destroying and corrupting all hobbies. Yes, you should gatekeep your hobbies. Anything that you enjoy doing, keep foids and gays away from it. It's that simple, right? Look what Star Wars has become now that Star Wars caters to women and gays. Like, it's just disgusting. It's awful. It's evil. It's slop personified. And just imagine that, but all of your favorite things, right? So anything you like, gatekeep. Keep these people out. You don't need them. Thank you, Dillweed. Appreciate it. Iron Within for 2 says Romans 1, 24 and 25 equals this drama and American culture. I think I know what you're talking about. Romans 1, 24 and 25. Let's see. On Bible Hub. Let's see. Therefore, God gave them over in the desires of their hearts to impurity for the dishonoring of their bodies with one another. They exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is forever worthy of praise. Amen. Yeah. So again, God has a habit of giving people over to their worst desires and kind of granting them the wish of what they want in sort of a monkey's paw-esque way. It's like, oh yeah, you want riches and fame, and here you go, and this is what that leads to, and now you're murdering children and trying to defend it online. Thank you, Iron Within. I appreciate that. Chud McGill for 2 says, if you don't support TND, you shouldn't lead anything. Well, listen, okay, there's some tough conversations to be had. Zanico for 2 says, I'm late, confused, and fertile. # back to school flu. Now, I know you said febrile, but I'm going to assume you meant to say fertile. Thank you, Zanico. Owens Bane for $10 says, Richard, trench with hearts. John, PSI update. Been out for a while, so I may have missed an update. Also, the early 2000s metalcore BTM is the best at Big Toe Money. Any other choice is wrong. Well, thank you very much, Owens Bane. There is a PSI update to be had, but it's going to be put out on like Subscribestar and Ko-Fi first, if that makes sense. So there is an update. It's not particularly exciting, but there is an update that will be put out to them first and to some of the big supporters. Thank you. That's not exactly what he wished for, but that is.
I thought he said trench with farts.
Well, with farts. Yeah, close enough. Thank you, Owen Spain. Spec for 2. Thank you for the news. Santa Claus. Oh, gosh dang it. See, now it's all about the PFPs now. Thank you, Spec. Coppertone says N-I-double-G-E for dillweed. Another E for Coppertone. And they're breaking it up. They can't even get it done. Coppertone for the finishing touch with the R, and then finishing off with another 2 says TND. That was a very, very good tower. The best kind of tower. Okay, thank you. And Dillweed and Coppertone. Because Dillweed did try to help you out a little bit. It didn't work out very well, but he did try to help. Mephistopheles for 5 says Discord link on Ko-Fi is dead. I've been cheated. Just like anyone who bought the VZ61 kits that were just imported. Also me. I apologize. I'll get another link up there. So if you join on Subscribestar or Ko-Fi, just message me for the link, or I'll try and make another public post that has the link on it. Also, I think I think Lost Arrow. How's it going, man? I think he put that in the description for you guys, or in the comment section. Thank you, Mephistopheles. Mephistopheles? I just lost it. Hal for 2 says, is there even one good / respectable gun company? Focus Shooting LLC. That's it, bro. That's it. No, let's see. You could go with Munition Works. You could go with Adaptive Defense. They're not really a gun company. They'll sell some gun parts soon enough. Again, Focus Shooting LLC, maybe you could say that. I don't know. Some would say. What else do we got? Respectable gun companies.
LaRue?
I mean, LaRue's crazy. It's like LaRue and Bendy Bill are kind of in the same category. Like, I really like Geisley. I really like LaRue. I'm not always perfectly confident in their leadership, but they haven't done anything, as far as I'm aware, to overly screw over their customers. So that puts them in higher regards. BCM, have they ever done anything outright evil?
If not necessarily having the best product, but never doing anything to screw over their customers and taking care of their customers anytime they have an issue is the criteria.
Criterion, sure. Roscoe, for sure. Josh would kill me if I didn't say Roscoe. Titus Arms, not quite. Desert Tech, another good option there. I don't think they've done anything wrong ever.
Keltec.
Yeah, but Keltec makes crappy products, though. I mean, honestly, some of their products are the affront to their customers. Let's be real.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's $200.
Let's see. T-Rex Arms, yes, great family-oriented company. True, very true. There's got to be another one out there. CAK, K-A-K Industries. They make some wacky products. It's high-value stuff, But I don't think they've ever done anything to screw anyone over.
Oh, I was getting ready to say KAC.
Oh, Knights? I mean, he's never attacked someone's house and camera with a hatchet in the middle of the night. So I mean, seems like a chill dude. Thank you, Hal. I appreciate that. Andrew Webb for 5 says, I'm also playing Total War while watching stream based. Just began the first and hopefully only Punic War, Roma Victora. Well, there's a couple of those, so good luck. Spoiler alert, you do win in the end. Thank you, Andrew Webb. Chud for 2 says, I'll be playing the new Bannerlord update tonight. Very cool. Appreciate that. White Power Ranger for 2 says, Dry Fire, B-class bandits are actually bad. Well, okay, so I know a couple of guys that were in B-class forever, but it's either because they never shot classifiers, or when they did shoot classifiers, they were really bad, but they would perform like A and M level people, and I know A people who can beat me quite easily. So it's the number or the letter is deceiving, right? So just because I have a GM next to my name doesn't mean that I'm a top tier phenomenal shooter. I'm kind of a classifier clown, if you will. Okay, that's what I would say. Thank you, White Power Ranger. But yeah, you should dry fire. A Tucker for $20 says, any word from the ATF regarding Form 4s? I've been at work all day and haven't been paying attention. Is the DOJ/ATF supposed to be meeting and discussing what to tell FFLs? Well, listen, 2 days ago, they were supposed to have an update, and I don't think that they have posted anything as far as I'm aware. Yeah, their last post was 6 days ago. Let me go to the GOJ website here. Press releases on Department of Justice. Nope. Antitrust. 764 extremist group. Alabama man. New York city man charged with a hate crime against a synagogue. Base what? Prolific Chinese money launderer. Nope. I do not see anything, sir, about the ATF guidance that they were supposed to be publishing to FFLs. I have not seen anyone post anything. I have not heard any updates. They were supposed to have it out in the last day or two, but I have seen nothing. So my apologies, good sir. All right. Over on Ko-Fi, let's see. Bojangles became a Ko-Fi capping creep. Amorite Boy for 3 says, late again, Jonathan? Bad boy. Time to break out the switch until you learn to be punctual. Yeah, that's the thing. It's my own show. It's my own job. It's like I make the hours, right? If I want to be 3 minutes late, I'm 3 minutes late. Handsome Horse for $20 says, oh, actually, that other guy, I'm sorry, A. Tucker, you donated $20 and I didn't even give you a big toe money or something. I apologize. That was very wrong of me. I cheated you.
Everybody laughing, but he still broke when that shoelace tight. He don't fall. It's all they got Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku, Dragon Ball's about to come all over these walls. All they got Super Saiyan, big toe game. I'm not playing. I'm like Goku, Dragon Ball's about to come all over these walls.
Thank you. All right. Handsome Horse for $20 says, halfway there, gents. Give us some big toe money. Free Dugan. Christ is king. Christ is king. Thank you very much, Handsome Horse, for the donation, for supporting Dugan and all that you do. Appreciate it, man.
Funny, this is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. Hey, take money, big toe money. This is a song of the summer shit. You know it's funny. Walk on stage with no shoes on. All I need is feet, boy, I'm too gone. My feet feel good, your feet where they should. Y'all just sitting in the grass with a cigarette. Take money, big toe money. That's a bigger check. Walking in, everybody.
Yeah, there's some pretty divided opinions on which big toe money is the best. I actually just need to get the sea shanty one uploaded as a clip. I think people would enjoy that one. All right, Amorite Boy for 3 says, I sacrificed my Insta algorithm to pull those clips. Chat, thank me for their cervixes, their body, our choice. Wait, are you sending me something on Instagram, or what are you sending me? What are you talking about, sir? I don't see it. Did you send it to me on X? What? I'm so confused. What clips did you pull for chat? But thank you, Amorite Boy. Oh, wait, no, you're talking about the foids. Oh, yes. I'm glad you had to grab the links and not me. Wow. Oh, thank you for that. Malatesta the 4th for $5. Appreciate that. Becomes a Ko-Fi caffeine creep. Supporter for 3 says, check DM for inside scoop on foid. Shoot, which DM do I have to go to? Oh, I saw that. If that's the one you're talking about, or do I have to look at another one? Check DM. Okay. Oh no. That's wild. Oh, that's okay. Wait. So which one are we talking about here? Gosh dang it. Do I have to go back through the Foid clips now? You're really going to make me re-poll the Fold clips. Which one is Kylie? Is that Brenna?
Kylie was the first one.
It's the first clip?
Kylie was the very first one. The one had only been shooting for a month.
Oh, this Kylie. Oh, so the E-Thought? Oh, sorry, you guys can't see it on screen. This one. So this Kylie. She claimed to be a Christian while working at a Christian college and actively cheating on her husband with multiple men. Many such cases. Oh wow. Well, I mean, this guy DM'd me a bunch of stuff, but I can't say any of it because it would all implicate who he is, which he doesn't want. Hence the anonymous donation. But terrible Floyd being a terrible person? No, that's crazy. I can't believe the online prostitute is a terrible person. That's wild. See, that's so crazy. Maybe I don't want the thought terrible person to be in my sport or anywhere around me. Yeah, I appreciate that though. Thank you very much, Mr. Supporter Man. Thank you for the information. Although again, I'm not surprised. It's like, well, you're telling me the prostitute cheated on someone and lied about everything in her life. That's crazy. Berserker for 5 says, if Arrow is smart, they can come back as one of the biggest suppressor manufacturers and help push them into common use or help proliferation of suppressors from mass manufacturing. Well, that's the one thing that is doing really well in the industry right now, right? Is going to be suppressors. So yes, if they can bring back the Lahar and the Lahar 30 and bring a flow through version or just a reduced back pressure version or 9mm cans, just if they can just market saturate that segment and make 50,000 cans a year, they can probably do it, right? Because Otter Creek Labs, if they're pushing 80 to 100,000 cans out this year, if again Aero Precision can ramp up production, they do have a chance to kind of help fill that market out. So I appreciate that. Brush Okie for $20 says, OnlyFans seeping gash with crazy eyes and a fat midriff, plastic bags screeching like an ex-wife. Bad John, where is my slur? Well, we're not quite 2 hours in, but for $20 bucks, bro, you can get a couple of slurs. Which one? Do we have the faggot one? Or no? We get this one.
This is a retarded take.
There you go. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Brush Okie. Yeah, I honestly, I should apologize to my audience for pushing them through all of that. Dillweed for $20 says, here's 20 for messing up the end tower earlier. Dealer's choice for big toe money. Well, if it's dealer's choice, then you know I'm going to have to grab the, they're inundating me over on Ko-Fi. If I have dealer's choice, then I'm going to go find the shanty real fast. Here's the playlist, or here's the channel. Here we go. This is the one that I want. Oh, load. 1 second. You guys can hear that, right?
Yep.
This is the best one.
I've been gone. Money in my pocket, toe ring, gold socket, stumble on stage, bare feet, whole crowd stop, can't top it, big toe flash, I lock it, blue line cash, I clock it, if the shoes go missing, fine, I make a lane, I walk it, all I need is feet, boy, all I need is floor, 1 step, then 2 step, hear the whole room roar, no lace, no shame, no fear, I came to collect right here. Big toe money, Jake money funny, kids go dumb for the summer. Big toe money, all I need is feet, boy, I've been gone. Toe paint chips still shining, mud on the sole.
That's a good one. I think that goes hard. I don't know. I got some real anti-shanty people in the chats. That's really anti-shamantic of you, okay? And I think we have a real epidemic of anti-shantytism, okay, out there. We got to get rid of you guys, bro. At the gym and that. Yeah, I know. It's good. It's good music. All right. Over on Ko-Fi, 2 more. Frog Commander for 3 says, let me get a Skibbity Toilet Riz.
Skibbity Toilet Riz. Okay.
Some great clips. Thank you very much, Frog Commander. Very based of you. Appreciate that. Always good to see Valhalla VFT's wonderful, charming face. Paulie B for $25 says, I'm going to be real with you, Chief. I'm of two minds of voting straight Democrat in the fall after the Fishback vote. Ken Paxton gets a pass. Hashtag to be determined. Furthermore, I think that the GOP must be destroyed. Well, here's maybe the comforting part of all of this, because I know a lot of you guys are not desiring to vote for blue politicians, right? But I don't think you have to vote at all. I think the GOP is shooting itself in the foot literally every day. I think that the people that they put forward for their candidates are awful, and they do deserve to lose. So really, whether you decide to help them lose or just let them do it on their own, I think that you're going to get the same end result. Right? I mean, like, I don't think you have to help the GOP lose all that much. I think that they've already done basically all of the damage that they're going to do. So, I mean, you can vote blue if you want, or you can not vote if you are conscientiously objecting, so to speak. But I think the end result basically going to be the same. There might be a couple of really close votes where maybe you're actually voting Democrat could make a difference. But I do agree, though. I don't want the GOP to be the roadblock for the right wing anymore, because that's what they are. The GOP, the Red, the Republicans, they are a roadblock for a real right wing party or a real right wing movement.
Well, the Romneys ran the RNC for how long?
A long time. And I mean, it's talking about Mormon families getting into it,
Yeah.
But Paulie B, for $25, I got to give you something. Actually, this is me talking to the Republicans. Okay.
Come here. I can't fix you. No one can fix you. You are a broken, subhuman piece of trash, a garbage person.
That's you talking to him? I thought it would have been more along.
We're going to have to come over to your house and kill you. No two ways about it.
Well, I mean, there are two pathways forward. One is to actively put them down by voting blue, and the other one is to just understand that you can't fix them. There's also the third option here with Moonman for $5 says, simply don't vote. If you must get involved in politics, do it from a distance or via pager. You know what? A lot of the GOP politicians, a lot of all politicians really, are old enough to use pagers. And that was newfangled technology when I got into office in 1982, bro. Oh, what is it? For the last 20 years, we've had a president who was born in the 1940s. Since like the early 2000s, our president has been born in like 1946 or something like that. All right. Let's see. What are we talking about now? Oh, let's talk about cool stuff. Okay. Let's talk about drones and bolters and all the fun stuff that we're probably never going to get on the civilian side of things, but at least we get a look at it. Okay. Would you just look at it? So we have, let me translate this post. This is the new Hammer highly advanced multi-mission rifle. Seeks to provide U.S. squads with a new fire capability with a 40mm semi-automatic powered by a loader. The weapon is designed to offer greater range and speed of fire, capable of facing protected targets behind cover, drones, counter U.S., and short-range threats. So it has a tilting barrel action where you can put any round in that you want. So if you need to load in a special purpose round while your magazine is full of HEs or anti-drone or whatever else it might be, you always have the capability of popping that barrel and putting whatever you want in there directly on top of the magazine. And then it looks like the stock is somehow part of the charging mechanism that folds down. Now, I got to be careful here because I don't know if YouTube considers this a firearm or not, so I might make it a little minimized for you. Just that shot is so cool, though. I love grenade launchers going off, especially like semi-auto grenade launchers. There's something so cool about them. It's like the XM8, back when that was XM25, sorry. XM25 back in the day, like 2 days ago. Such a cool concept. See, and then they do the cool thing where it's like, okay, you did your anti-drone round. Now let's load in the air burst. Ooh. Right. There's just something so satisfying about those shells, those huge 40 mil shells ejecting just a chunk.
Can you
A
go
chunk.
to that ejection sequence right there? in the
I
video?
we'll play it a couple of times. We have an article for it, but so yeah, it has an airburst functionality where it's obviously just dropping shrapnel all over that vehicle.
Wow.
Cool concept. That's the thing you wanted to do.
Very effective.
I do love the dichotomy between East and West, right? The East is like, a $75 shotgun will do the trick. And then we can mass produce like 1 million drones a year or whatever it happens to be. We'll do that. And then the West is like, well, actually, if we make a hyper specialized individual man portable system with maximum versatility, we can get the unit cost down to $15,000 each, and we can manufacture 4,000 of them a year. It's like, well, yep, there are two ways about that problem, I guess. We'll let it play back again to the beginning. Have a good night, Anonymous.
Oh, this is from Rheinmetall?
Yes, it is. Look how cool that is, though. So that's how you charge the thing. It's just like this chunk. Just pushing that thing back in there. Be careful. It pulls up a real gun. Yeah, so then it just ejects that huge shell right out the top. Super cool. Okay, I want one. How expensive are they? Yes. Okay. Rheinmetall's a hammer revives U.S. Army's quest to put precision airburst firepower inside of the infantry squad. Pause. American Rheinmetall has unveiled the highly advanced multi-mission rifle hammer as its 40mm contender for the U.S. Army's Precision Grenadier system. According to a video released on July 13, 2026, positioning it to give infantry squads an organic precision fire capability against enemies behind cover, light vehicles, and small drones without relying on heavier supporting fires. By combining programmable airburst ammunition, digital fire control, and a semi-automatic magazine-fed design, Hammer aims to close a long-standing gap in squad-level lethality by delivering faster and more accurate engagements at extended ranges. Built around the Rheinmetall's SSW-40 launcher and integrated with the Aimpoint FCS-15. I have no idea what the Aimpoint FCS-15. I guess that was the whole optics stack on top of it. We'll take a look at that in just a second. Fire control system Hammer is designed to improve first round hit probability while enabling rapid follow-up shots with a wide range of 40mm programmable munitions. As the U.S. Army evaluates competing next-generation precision grenade systems, the weapon reflects a broader shift toward equipping infantry squads with autonomous precision effects, enhanced counter-drone capabilities, and greater battlefield flexibility in complex combat environments. So I guess that is the Aimpoint, what do they call it? FCS-15, Fire Control System 15, on top of that bad boy. I guess that's the Swiss version of the Vortex, what is it? The M157 optic system. On July 13th, American Rheinmetall released a new video presenting the PGS system. Let's scroll down. The weapon's technical backbone is the Rheinmetall's SSW-40, an approximately 80 centimeter, 4 kilogram baseline launcher. That's actually not bad, like 9 pounds for a grenade launcher. Equipped with a self-regulating hydro-pneumatic recoil system, Rheinmetall claims that its 40 by 46 millimeter medium velocity ammunition can engage targets at up to 900 meters while Hammer combines the launcher with the Aimpoint FCS-15 fire control system and retains the compatibility with qualified U.S. Army low-velocity 40mm rounds. The wider ammunition portfolio includes high explosive airburst, multi-mission, dual-purpose anti-armor, and training cartridges. The manufacturer says its HEDP round can penetrate 4 inches of rolled homogeneous armor. Exact Hammer magazine capacity, final configuration weight, and Army qualified effective range remain undisclosed. So roughly 1,000 yards in the palm of your hand for lobbing, high velocity or medium velocity shells. Kind of neat. And again, this is a similar type of concept to the XM25, but again, that was a 25mm, and this is quite a bit larger than that. So let me see here. Does Aimpoint have anything about the Aimpoint FCS that I can look at publicly? So, okay, it's a version of this thing. So yeah, like a machine gun sight or a grenade launcher sight with a bunch of different capability built into it. So I imagine it has all the different drop compensation, probably auto ranging, right, to figure out where to hold. That is the one problem that grenades have over everything else when it comes to like being a rifle, is that your drops at distance are going to be insane. So you have to have something that can calculate your drop relatively precisely at different distances. And keep in mind the high variability in ammo types that you have. So you have to be rather specific with all of that. So nighttime capability, thermal capability, airburst capability, versatile use, elimination of targeted errors, with a terrain angle and range estimation with laser rangefinder. So very cool. Very cool stuff. Maybe someday we'll figure out what we're doing for our PGS system, but I know that there's a bunch of different people in the runnings for that, but I thought that was cool enough to take a look at. Now, you know what else is cool enough to take a look at? All right, HK prices, but not for you and me. HK prices for the military. So this is just like a little aside to what we pay for HK versus what the military pays for their HKs. So just looking at the MR556A4 prices, they're insane, which led me to think, I wonder what the Marines pay for their M27s. So I looked it up. The USMC is paying 1,500 bones for their M27s and $1,800 for their upgrade kits. So $3,449 in total. I believe the Marine Corps bought around 15,000 of the M27s, which brings me to the point of cost. How many M27s/MR556A4s do I have to order to get the price under 2K? There's a 0% chance HK USA would ever be allowed to answer that question due to their German overlords, but it's interesting to ponder, I suppose. Now, I am curious about that, because what if I was a distributor or somebody like that, and I just had an insane amount of money laying around, and I'm like, hey, HK, I want to purchase 10,000 of your, MR56A4s, right? What's your cost on that? And it's like, $20 million or something. But if I had $20 million laying around, I could probably sell them, and you could sell them for like half the cost of whatever HK is already selling them for. Wubba Bubba says HK should make $20 burritos. I think you're underestimating it there. I think if you put HK in charge of making a burrito, it would probably end up like $49 a burrito. And if you ever complained about the price, you would have a cackling group of HK aficionados saying that you're too poor to understand the complicated flavor map of an HK burrito, right? You actually just are too poor to understand, the real flavors that you can get out of an HK burrito and why it's so superior to everyone else. So, but congratulations on the 20,000 subscribers. Very glad to see that, good sir. You could buy Arrow. No, you couldn't, okay, because you think you could, but 10,000 HK MR556A4s at $2,000 a pop is only $20 million. So you're only about halfway through their debt portfolio, not including any assets that they have. So I imagine to actually buy Aero Precision, back to that topic for a second, and to satisfy all of their debts was probably $100 million in terms of their current valuation, assets they have, that being either supplies or manufacturing machines, which are quite expensive, any sort of intellectual IP they have, which is a lot, I'm going to guess about $100 million. Guac not included. Also true. All right. Let's move on from there. Now, something else that we love to talk about here, and that is online leftist political figures. No, we really don't discuss them all that much on this show. But for the 700 people still watching, you get a little bit of an education. All right. You're going to learn today, son, because just in White Dudes for Harris co-founder, which is such a gay title, isn't it? White Dudes for Harris. You know, that's how unpopular you have to be with white men when you have to start up an organization that's like, no, I'm a proud white man for Harris. We need an organization to really get white men behind Kamala Harris. Now, I'm not sure why white men would have a natural disgust, so to speak, of Kamala Harris, but I could put forward a couple of theories, and yes, they are quite racist. But, I mean, this guy is the face of White Dudes for Harris, which is the same thing as, I don't know, husbands for their wives' boyfriends or something like that. It's a very similar phenotype. I like to call it the rat phenotype, maybe the mouse phenotype. You see this type of face and you're like, you look soft, you look effeminate, but underneath those eyes is a rat or a mouse, whatever else it might be. Pick your favorite rodent, okay? It could be a possum for all I know. And DNC, TikTok darling, remember that TikTok actually damages your brain. Dean Withers is being accused of sexual assault by multiple men. Now, that was not surprising, okay? With male feminists, a lot of the time you're like, oh yeah, of course, they were raping women behind the scenes. It just is what it is. That happens every now and again. You know, another male feminist caught of rape. Wow, that's crazy. Not Dean, though. Dean is like, women? What are you talking about? Okay, this is the DNC. Get your straight ass out of here. Okay, where are the boys at? Bring me them children. Okay, I need to pull a Jeff Ep real fast. Multiple men who claimed he took advantage of them when they were underage. Aww. Now, again, are these allegations true? Who knows? I don't, but Dean Withers is the type of guy, literally the type of guy that, is believe all women or believe all accusers or rape is le bad, which is such a brave take, right? When you're Dean Withers and you're like, hey guys, did you know that rape is bad? Life comes at you fast. Hey, MAGA conservatives, why isn't rape a hard line? I don't know, Dean. Why isn't rape just a hard line? And this picture, right? It sums up the left in one image, doesn't it? It's like we're actually the good guys. It says so right here in my title. I'm Dean Good Guy Withers, and we would never do anything bad because we're the heckin' good guys. Okay? Don't look in my closet where many underage boys are currently being held and screaming for their lives because I am a good guy. Don't worry about it. I'm a TikTok darling, all right? Dean Withers, full meltdown, got hit with his own medicine and started crying like a baby. Spread this. You sure? Just a little bit of a meme compilation of his reactions to the accusations, which I do have to repeat, are simply allegations. We have no reason to believe the allegations, all right? But Dean, in his infinite wisdom, has commanded us to believe all women or little boys, so as to not perpetuate rape culture. So sorry. I got that Freudian slip there, Mr. Dean Rape Withers. So as to not perpetuate rape culture, I am going to believe the victims without evidence.
Ask you a question. You work with kids. How do you feel about Donald Trump admitting
Wait for it.
to sexually exploiting naked women and kids on Howard Stern's radio show in 2005?
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
And being credibly accused in the Epstein files of doing.
Credibly accused, which is such a funny term. I've been credibly accused of a couple rapes of underage boys before, Dean Withers, credibly accused. That's a good nickname. Dean, credibly accused Withers.
And you're accused too, so what does that have?
Sorry, what's that?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, that must have been the other guy on his panel. Now, next Ryan does have a good point. Meanwhile, no Epstein arrests or investigations. True. It's very true. Because they're all on the same team.
Have to do anything.
What?
Why would you say that?
You're getting.
Don't cry. It's gonna be okay.
They're trying their best, guys. They're trying their best, bro. They're really trying their best.
See, it's the performative crying when you know, right? There's that little like warning sign in the back of your head when somebody's too effeminate, they're too soft, they're too emotional, and you know that those eyes are hiding like the lizard man underneath who's like an evil monster, right? The performative crying, it's so woman coded. You're trying to be a chameleon, right? That's your dating strategy, is the chameleon.
Fuck. Fuck, dude. God, man.
Dude, this is like when your girl says something, she's like really sad about something, and you're like, you know, trying to be the supportive person, and you're like, yeah, that sucks. Damn, that's so tough. Wow. I just can't believe that happened. Anyways, when's dinner ready? So what's your plan for dinner? Hey, the laundry upstairs, is that just gonna magically fold itself or no? Right? That's crazy, bro. Anyways.
How about if you don't want problems, stop fucking starting them!
Just don't do that to people, man. You just don't do that to people, bro.
You just don't do that to people, bro. Aw. Rare Deftones L. That's funny.
They finally found their way to get to me. You know?
Finally!
They're always looking for that way. And they found
it. Anyways, this is a good one. It wasn't rape, it was anxiety sex, which is great, of course. I did not rape that woman. It was merely anxiety sex. That's a good one. Okay. Anytime that a Floyd pulls out some false accusation on you, you're like, actually, the term rape is really problematic, and it actually just diminishes my anxiety that I was experiencing under the circumstances. Okay, so it actually wasn't rape; it was anxiety sex. That's a good one. Yeah, Trump is a pedo cannibal. I have zero evidence, but I'm milking it anyways. And then false rape allegations are a weapon of the far right, which is so ironic, right? Anyone on the left saying that rape allegations are a tool of the far right. It's like, no, I'm pretty sure that's like your primary go-to is just to accuse somebody of something from umpteen decades ago that no one ever, pursued or went through with, or no police reports on. Like the whole thing with Brett Kavanaugh. You guys remember Brett Kavanaugh, right? Current Supreme Court Justice. And they were like trying to pull up, like, actually, you went to a party when you were in college and you got like drunk one time. And this woman says that you like did something. No, she never reported on it. She never wrote about it. She never told anyone else. But like, this is pretty heckin' serious. This is pretty heckin' serious. But yeah, life comes at you fast. Addressing the rape allegations. The jump cuts in his video are because he's raping someone while he's making the video. Very funny take. Yes, you got to take your 15-minute rape break. Totally understand that. And again, it's not that I particularly care or believe the allegations. It's simply that if we're holding you to your own standard, or hoisting you by your petard, so to speak, then yeah, it's your standard. You say, okay, believe all victims and rape is a bad thing. Rape is la bad, guys. Did you guys know that rape is la bad? Then yeah, it's your standard. My apologies. Now, this image is, again, so funny. You're not allowed to rape people. Dean Withers, and it's the crying obsession emoji, which is very, very funny. Dean Withers crashing out. And this is the thing, AI has gotten a little too good. I do believe Dean is a rapist. His entire shtick is predatory, and he looks very guilty and defensive in question. Dean Wizard doesn't like it when you say his anxiety pen is a vape.
It's an anxiety pen, not a vape.
I said it was an anxiety pen!
Again, a little too good. You're not allowed. Yeah, you're not allowed to rape people, and it's just Dean Withers' entire personality, his entire career plan down the tubes almost instantly. Tragic. I hate it when that happens. It's so obnoxious. Oh, me
Really
when I
fucking-
empower false accusers, but then they accuse me of rape. Yes. Let's see here. Here we go. So this is what the oh my gosh, this is what the guy's actually like, right? So this is him on like a TikTok live or something like that, and here he is crashing out, doing a little emotional appeal here. I bet this goes really hard if you're a foid or gay.
Pin. I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do. Okay, so cut the shit. It's not a vape. All right, it's an anxiety pin. And God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is at this point getting ridiculous. Cody, so please.
Justified crash out?
For the final and for the billionth time, will you please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pin?
It's a goddamn anxiety pen. Get it right.
What flavor? Again, you have to understand, does he... It's the fake nice guy stuff, though. It's the fake, I'm the heckin' wholesome person, you know? And then it's like, you find out what they talk to people, how they talk to people when there's no cameras on, when there's no one to be performative to, how they treat their significant others, how they allegedly treat underage boys. You know, it's like that. This is the real Dean, right? That's the real Dean, not the fake performative crying on camera, which is like, again, I'm not like, if you're going to set up a camera and performatively cry on camera, it's like the Foyd thing. It's the retarded TikTok brain. You're like, listen, I've got to show the world how down I am, how sad I am. Let me set up my tripod. Let me set up my, my microphone and my light. Let me film myself organically crying, and then let me edit and upload it and get a bunch of likes. It's so performative. It's so gay. When you know the real person is just, maybe you're actually just a terrible person, and the reason why you have to like outsource your outrage to the internet is because you don't actually do anything virtuous in your real life, So everything has to be, I'm mad at bad thing online because I never do anything in the real world, right? Like I never volunteer, I never help here, I never do this, I'm never actually generous with my time or my money. I just complain about things online so that I can win like heckin' wholesome points and be a chameleon and try and fit in because I have no actual virtues. Red Right Hand says, definition of weak men create bad times. Probably. But let's talk about Foyds again. Let's go back to something funny, shall we? Not Dean Withers raping boys, okay? That was funny, allegedly. But let's get to Foyds here. So the LV MPD releases body cam footage on Wednesday afternoon from a Spring Valley shooting that left 2 people dead, including a child, and an officer injured on Monday. The incident happened around 12:30 a.m. in the 4500 block of Pigeon Point Court. And lots of L's in this video. Lots and lots of L's in this video. Have you seen this, Richard?
No, I have not.
It's great. So the woman is going to try and break down a door unsuccessfully. And then someone is going to start shooting, and then people are going to continue to shoot.
Okay. Would it be? Here. I'm with you.
Oh. Oh my God. What?
Oh, right.
What was that? Oh,
right? It's so
no.
bad. So first off, she's like, I'm a 120-pound Foyd. I will kick down the door. No, you won't. You tried. It did not work. And then somebody starts shooting. I don't actually know who fired the first shot, but then you'll watch this Foyd retreat while just shooting into the ether, right? Where are her bullets going? She has no idea. She is not accountable for those at all. And keep in mind that a child died during this. Operation? This failed attempt at anything?
Okay. Would it be? Here. I'm with you, B. You got this little bitch.
You can see her. She's like, she does the little thing where she like jumps. She literally jumps like a woman does, you know, where they do like, oh, the tippy toe jump thing. And then she's like walking away and shuffling and everybody's shooting. And then she's like, as she's running away, she has her hand out, just shooting behind her into the dark, into the ether, doing whatever she thinks is fun. And I think it's super base that the Las Vegas police department decided to post this because listen, you got to just show foids being retarded. That's the greatest weapon we have against foids is just showing them being retarded, right? You just got to expose it. You got to wake normies up. No, foids should not be trusted with guns. Foids should not be police officers. Foids should not be in the military. Foids should not be judges. Foids should not be really out of the kitchen for a lot of reasons, right? Okay, there's very limited roles in society for you, okay? And the best way to do that is just to expose them to absolutely retarded nonsense. Like, tell anyone, would you rather have a man or a woman here trying to kick down a door? Please say the man. If you don't say the man, then I'm going to have to remove you from existence. Now, here's another funny one. All right. So we have a blaster of some sort, a gat, so to speak, a blood splatter, billet upper, trash handguard. Everything is rusted AF. Look how bad that barrel is. The barrel is just one whole bucket of rust. Richland, Colorado deputies say a mother is facing charges after a 6-year-old got on a school bus with a loaded gun.
Oh.
Yeah, Richard. Yes, the ethnicity. Sorry, what?
I believe that even has a super safety.
It might, yeah, whatever that is. Now, as we mentioned earlier, there's a certain fan base of Palmetto State Armory, and they always match the stereotype. Now, let me illuminate you onto who the owner of this firearm is. Got him. The mother, of course, not the father. Who knows who the gun actually belongs to, right? But sorry to jump scare you with the foid, the groid or the goid or the bloid or whatever you want to call them. Listen, any woods in the chat? I'm trying to see Biggie Snails. You should have said Biggie Smells. That's a woman. So hot. Says Plato's Cave. Okay, that guy is never making out of the cave if he thinks that hot. That's hot. Get this freak away from me. Yeah, if you actually look at their little article that they have, yes, filled with, I believe, a 300 blackout. Now, was this weapon stored underwater? Look at the dirt and mud everywhere and the rust on the barrel. There's no way this thing actually ran. Right? We're looking at like a 5-inch 300 blackout with open tips. So those are probably subs, or maybe they're like 125s out of a 60-round magazine that I know does not feed these rounds. Like, there's no way this thing actually works. Not possible. And yeah, that's the mother charge for the 6-year-old. Now, I ask you this. Would you send your kid to school with this 6-year-old, as they're calling them now? Imagine, like, this retard obviously, like, didn't do anything with it, fortunately, but this guy could have easily killed one of his classmates. Somebody sitting on the bus, somebody chilling, somebody doing their homework. And this guy could have whipped out, this little monster could have whipped out their parents' gun and shot somebody with it. Like, try them both with the death penalty. Okay, we're just not allowing this type of behavior to exist anymore. Sorry, you had your shot, you failed. Better luck next time. But okay, it's not just the blacks, okay, guys? Sometimes silly things just happen to people. Sometimes a SWAT team gets a little excited, get a little too many donuts, and that porch, that patio, man, it just ain't gonna hold up to all that mass. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You thought the fatal funnel was the doorway, but in this case, it's actually the porch. Now, this is actually an interesting defense strategy. So, like, let's say, for instance, for the sake of argument, if I wanted to fortify my house and it was a second-story house, what if I intentionally made the balcony, the porch, the patio, whatever you want to call it, like super weak, basically a death trap if like 10 officers got on it, you know, so that it just like auto takes out the entire SWAT team, right? Or just have like some mechanical switch that when it reaches over 1,000 pounds on the deck, then it just automatically folds, you know, like a trap door. Wouldn't that be funny? Right? This hypothetical scenario where I'm attempting to defend my home, right? Like an automatic switch where once it hits like 1,500 pounds, 2,000 pounds, whatever it happens to be, it just folds down immediately and drops them, right? Like 10 feet. And you could, you know, maybe combo that with a spike trap on the bottom covered up by like, you know, welcome mats or rugs or a garden, right? But then underneath that is like a spike. I'm just theorizing here. There's like things you could do theoretically to set up like a way to protect yourself, right? Looney Tunes ass raid, yes. Oh, that sucks.
Hold on.
So, a group of law enforcement officers comprised of SWAT and U.S. Marshals sustained non-life-threatening injuries when a porch gave way underneath them while they were trying to serve an arrest warrant in Missouri to a 26-year-old Jacob Munoz, who was convicted of possession of child pornography while he wasn't at the property at the time of the incident. Officials say he later turned himself in. Now, a Mexican man having child porn is so common, it's stereotypical. You know, look at the rates of like sexual abuse in families of Mexicans or Hispanics, whatever you want to call them. Awful, horrible. Like the interfamily sexual issues that they have is insane. Yeah, but also just the image here where you see these two guys' feet on the bottom left here just hanging out as they're about to hit the ground. But almost the entire thing fell away. So that apartment complex, definitely not up to snuff. And I'm not sure who's going to get sued. Are the police officers going to get sued for destruction of property? Or more likely, are the police officers going to sue the apartment complex for this death trap that nearly took them out? It's so funny, though. The whole thing.
Hold on.
The whole thing. Dude, imagine you have like a stellar police career. You're a SWAT officer. You're a marshal. You've been doing your due diligence. You've been great at your job, right? And then you get taken out by a shitty porch. Like, how did you end your career? Oh, I had a broken spinal cord from a shitty porch in Alabama.
Imagine being this POS's neighbor, and you've got to be at work in a little bit. You go to walk, you hear it crashing. You're like, "Why are you?"
No. Yeah, you got to go buy like a 20-foot ladder to get in and out of your house. How funny is that? You know, I think theft goes down quite a bit in your second-story apartment, though. You know, when they have to bring their own ladder, like scaling the walls to get in, basically. All right. Well, here's a cool one. Okay, and you don't often see this, but this is pretty drippy. So, an officer wants to stop a perp who's running from the cops, running from the popo, and he decides to pull out a full auto MP5 and is like, all right, I'm just going to end this. So as he's driving up, trying to drive past, I'm just going to mag dump the guy with my full auto MP5, which again, kind of drippy.
I remember this case. The perp had killed an officer.
Go ahead.
I remember this case well. The guy in the car had shot an officer and fled the scene.
Right. And then so I don't know how that works with cops. Obviously, I know that this is an old clip, but I had just seen it and it's cool. So I'm showing it with you guys. Okay. How often are you guys going to see a full auto MP5 be used in the deletion of a perp? So again, I don't know how that works. Is if you're like, they wouldn't do this normally if you're just like running away from the cops, right? They're not just going to mag dump you. That's usually not their first option, I imagine. Right. But in this case where he's already killed an officer and is attempting to flee the scene, like I could see that being a cause for, we're just going to take you out. You've actually just gone too far. This is the kind of cop that I want. True. He missed every bullet. Did he?
Nope. The guy did not make it very far. And
I was say it looks like he crashes right there. So I don't know how he missed every shot, bro.
Yeah, he put quite a few of them right through the windshield.
Well, listen, okay, if I think if you've murdered someone, you know, you're not just trying to get out of a speeding ticket. Although, again, if it's a usual suspect, then maybe enhanced measures could be taken. But if you've already murdered someone and you're trying to flee and get away, like, yeah, you can be put down. I think that is very apropos for the situation. Transfer that man to ice. True. Yeah, 9mm, very effective when you stack like 10 of them in someone's chest cavity, right? Well, it wasn't a chest cavity until after you mag dumped into it, right? But for sure, that is a cool application of an MP5. Still does its thing. Now, here's someone who probably wishes they had an MP5 because we have another foiled police officer and attempting to help someone. And that person decides to, actually, I'm going to attempt to murder the police officer instead. So remember the situation a few months back where a black guy OD'd, and then when the paramedic revived him, the first thing he did was try to SA her, sexually assault her? Yes. Was that in New York where the guy got resuscitated, and then as he's getting resuscitated, he's just groping and fondling the paramedic who's trying to save his life? That's his first instinct, is it's raping time. Very Dean Withers coded moment. You know, the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning, well, checks clock, time to get to raping. Officer arrives to help a man who crashed into a lake. He then approaches her with a knife and refuses to drop it. So guy crashes his Ford into the lake, climbing out. The officer is like, hey, you all right? You need some help? Guy, first thing he does, pulls out a knife. Obviously, I'm not a police officer. This isn't legal advice. But if you pull out a knife while walking towards me, I just kill you. Nope. Not only do I not want to get stabbed, I know that I might have to shoot you 4, 5, or 6 times to actually get you to stop, right? To actually do the thing that I want it to do. And I would really prefer to not be stabbed. I like my skin connected for the most part. You know, there's a few openings here and there, but I prefer my skin to be in one piece.
Careful, careful. 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 Okay, hold on. You have a knife in your pocket, buddy. Put it down. Throw it down. Throw it down. Throw it down. Throw it down. 9350 went off. I got one at gunpoint. He's got a knife. He's coming towards me. Put down the knife. Put down the knife. Please. I don't want to shoot you. What's going on?
Also, the cop is like moving in such a way where she's putting other people in danger behind him. Because she's like lining up the shot to hit people in the back almost.
What's going on? Please,
there you go.
Stop. I don't want to shoot you.
Yeah, so this is the thing. Like, obviously, you shouldn't be a police officer. You're not physically equipped here. But no, you've given him 10 plus seconds. You've given him the command a dozen times. He's literally pointing the knife at you while walking at you. It is time for him to die. It's his checkout time. It's over. Absolutely not. And you know, he's only like 10 feet away. That is dangerously close. He could make that distance in like 1 second. And her reaction time, let's say it's a quarter second if we're being generous. Is she going to be able to put that guy down, put the shots where she needs to put them to not get stabbed to death, right? Realistically, he gets shot a couple of times, she gets stabbed a couple of times, and they both bleed out and die. Congratulations, you won the grand prize.
Stop!
See what I'm saying? I'll shoot him once in the belly. I'll just do one shot and that should stop the problem. And he's like, oh, ow, that hurts. Anyways, keeps moving forward. And he had the opportunity for sure to actually get him or get the Floyd officer. And I would not. Why would you give them the opportunity to murder yourself? Bill drill, backstop. There are now again civilians in the background. Yes, there's houses. There are people literally walking and they're being very unobservant. So, like, as soon as he pulls out the knife and is walking towards you, he's already down. That looks like a Steiner MPS on top of an M&P 2.0. So that's a pretty good cop setup. It's not bad. And I think that's a TLR1 out front. I think. So it's actually a pretty cool setup. Pretty cool setup there with the Steiner MPS, drippy, but yeah, just end it.
51 Alpha. I got one at gunpoint. He's got a knife. He's coming towards me. Put down the knife. Put down the knife, please. I don't want to shoot you. What's going on? What's going on? Please, stop. Stop. I don't want to shoot you. Stop. 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 Put the knife down. Stop. Put the knife down, please. Put the knife down, please.
See, when the cop is begging you to do something because they're like afraid or tedious, like it's the opposite of imposing, you know? Every shot that she takes is like what's the word that I'm looking for? It's where you don't even want to do it. You know, it's like the last resort possible. You're trying to so hard to allow them to save themselves and putting your life in danger. And listen, if it was a man cop, if you're a husband or a father or anything else like that, your kids, your wife, your family, your country, your nation depends on you, and you should be there for them. You do not need to sacrifice your life for this literal attempted murderer, basically. This psycho non who shouldn't even be here, right? Absolutely not. Not a fair trade. Your kids deserve a father. Get home to them. And if this guy's in your way, he goes down. Simple enough. Almost lost my cool. Yeah, very true, Sean. Almost lost her cool. You'll never know, though. Let's see. Polly B for 5 says the DOD will literally do anything but go back to the future of the ACR and stuff like HK's 4.7. Volume is the solution, not this hernia cannon. I don't know. I think the new solutions are cool. I obviously think that like there's other things that could be done way smarter and way more efficiently. Obviously, the NGSW program sucked, but I don't know. I've let people have their bolters, okay, Polly? They can have their bolters as a treat. Lightsport for 2 says, I think we should all bolter max. True. Lightsport for 2 says, put a wig on it and give it to Logan. Is that in reference to Dean Withers? That is so funny. Kind of already has a wig. I think he'd be more interested if there was a tail and little horse ears on it, though. Thank you, Lightsport. Lightsport for 2 says, oh, wait, no, I got both those. Moonman for 5 says, Lightsport, no horse ears. Simply not good enough. Simply not good enough. True. Coppertone for 2 says literally Rob O'Neill. Yeah, having his harem of boy concubines. The Greeks invented orgies, right? And the Romans just perfected it by adding women. And Axagrind for 5 says people like Dean on the heels of Epstein and Rotherham just don't really anger me anymore. I just want hard justice, not rage bait. I'm so tired. I know. I get it. Justice may not be doled out in this life for some of these people, but I think that we can hope and pray that there is an actual change coming, a reckoning, so to speak. Thank you, Axagrind. Hope you're having a good night, sir. Moonman for 5 says, I think that they put her in front because they thought it would be funny. For real, for real. Well, it was funny, but not to them, to us. Polly B says 2, wood chipper. There you go. Thank you, Polly B. Moonman for 5 says death penalty just for owning something like that looks like that. Death penalty I think is fair. Polly B for 5 says Judge Dredd is based actually. Dredd shoots who FBI crime stats say are criminals. If you know, you know. It's very true. Polly B for 2 says the Bill drill pill. I think that would have solved this problem and allowed that woman to get home to her family. or to the kitchen where she belongs. Thank you, Paulie B. Understand for once for 5 says, got my Comstock Armory suppressor adapter for Plan B with the flash hider for the YouTube giveaway. Jesus is King. Thank you very much. Yes, I actually have it right here. I'm actually playing with it. I'm going to do the giveaway on Friday. I think that's the plan. I got a couple of announcements on Friday, so I'll do it at the beginning of the stream. But Understand for once was very kind and actually sent in, oh, I put it on there too tight now. He sent in a Comstock Armory Plan B flash hider and one of their hub adapters, right? Because Comstock Armory, or whoever he purchased it from, sent him some extra ones for a delay in his order. So he's actually wanted to give these away on stream for all of you guys. So I will do that on Friday. Thank you very much. Understand for once. That is very based and kind of you. And the chat should thank you if they're doing their job. Let's see. Did I get anything else on Ko-Fi? Paulie B was the last one. Also, Richard, did you need to take off?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, say your piece and get out of here, good sir.
I just want to thank everybody for the words of support lately. It really has meant a lot to me. So, love all you guys. Have a good night.
Sounds good. Thank you very much, Richard. You have a good night. Good day at work, sir.
Thanks.
Get some sleep. All right. Well, let's move along here, ladies and gents, because we're not quite done yet. Actually, very much in the same vein of the case that we just looked at. A police officer in Pennsylvania shot and killed an immigrant who lunged at her with a 12-inch knife. The man who was shot was named Ugochukwu Iladwugwi. His family has already set up a GoFundMe. Now, let me see if I can find the original post here so we can watch it on X instead, because X is a way better video platform. David St. Carla. Oh, shoot. Where did I put that one now? All right. Give me 1 second, ladies and gents. It will be just a moment, I assure you. And by just a moment, it could be many minutes. Nope, not that one. Not that one. Some of these people post way too often. Kid in the car. Oh my gosh, there's so much rage bait on here. Yeah, you guys post way too often. Okay, you make it difficult for me to actually find the thing that I want to find. What is your guys' problem? Jeez. Ring cameras. Yep. Honestly, this is like 100 streams worth of content, just this guy's main page. Jeez. Body cam video. Yeah, lots of body cam videos. California. Okay, well, maybe we'll have to skip that just because I can't find it fast enough. So we'll just play it on here.
And after one final command, 2 shots.
Let me refresh the page here. His name was Glub Shitto. True.
New details and police warned body. District Attorney releasing new details and police warned body camera footage of the August 6th early morning police shooting that left an Alden man dead.
Left a who dead? An Albany man? I don't think that's an Albany man.
An Albany police officer is seen approaching a man who called for a police assist but quickly turned violent. Police say the man, now identified as 23-year-old Ugochukwu Uludigwe, pulled a 12-inch knife on the officer.
No. 12-inch knife, dark, Star Wars name coming at me in the middle of the night. Instant death. Ugochukwu Uludigwe.
Get down! Go, come on, I need extra cars here now!
For the next 2 minutes, the officer called out 25 commands for the man to put his hands down.
Okay, Sean, I think that the vibe here, the music is actually quite cool. It's very chill, you know? Otherwise, I would be scared of the Ugochukwu Uludigwe or whatever his name was, you know? But with the nice vibey music here, I'm kind of chill, you know? It's like watching a comedy sketch where a 5-foot Foyd has to take on a bigger perp, and it's funny. It's like an SNL skit.
Hide your back right now! Now play!
But after ripping the taser prongs away, Uludigwe lunged at the officer again, and after one final command, 2 shots were fired. The man was killed. Although the Montgomery County coroner deemed the manner of death a homicide, the district attorney says no.
A homicide? Manner of death, a homicide? Now, he was put down like a dog in the pound, okay? Write that down, coroner. Put down.
No criminal charges will be filed against the officer. The district attorney.
Why would there be charges? The guy had a knife and charged the police officer multiple times. He got tased, didn't work, and then he charged with a knife. Also, I feel like we do need to just start putting open bounties on people with Star Wars names. No offense to anyone in the chat, but I feel like that would solve a lot of our problems is if we just had a open bounty on Star Wars people. You know, like you'll be a bounty hunter. Like I don't know, what's that other guy's name? Boba Fett. Okay, we'll just hunt down all the Star Wars names, get rid of them. I don't think we need them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you guys are based and red pilled, and you're very, very cool, and obviously the Chad Jack. But I think we should be more empathetic to certain types of people, right? I think that we need to be kinder, and to do that, we have to walk a mile in their clown shoes, and we have to put ourselves in their mindset. And to really understand the oppressed minorities that live hard, oppressed lives, you know, they're very maligned by society. We really have to empathize with them. The only way to do that is to, again, try and see it from their perspective. So here we have a beautiful black queen just going through life. And we're just going to be there for the ride along, so to speak, okay? When a black woman speaks, we listen and we learn.
Yeah, that's my mailman. Not really my mailman, but my mailman across the street. I got so many motherfucking problems with the USPS. I'm telling you.
Right? It's like a comedy sketch. It's Detroit. The roads are torn up. Somebody's barely driving by and his exhaust just rips right off. Lightweight, no reaction. No one cares. No one does anything. Random gibberish at the mailman. But don't worry, there's so much video here.
Let me go if I get my ass beat about this bullshit. It's my motherfucking problem. Now they want to speed. They understood the meaning of that. They understand the meaning of that. These is black people. These is fucking black people. These is the fucking niggas I've been talking about. You want to record me, bitch? I'm recording you too. Black motherfucker. We got a white motherfucker out here too. Hey, bitch. Shit. Motherfuckers sitting in their goddamn car all goddamn day. They got motherfucking bumps on their ass. These women don't want to say what these men ass look like. They sit on their fucking ass all day. Is it plump? That's the nigga that's getting pounded in it. Pound, 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 pump that bitch up. Bet he got a little. Y'all better go get the fuck on. All that old man energy, that was my stepdaddy. Ain't no old man sex energy around this bitch. Y'all don't even know what that is. My mama and my stepdaddy, my mom was younger than my stepdaddy, and y'all don't even know what the fuck that means. Y'all out here fucking with kids, talking about, yeah, I'm the motherfucking cougar around this bitch. And you 30 and the kid, like, you fucking with a 6, like, come on, man. Y'all trash.
Well said. Well said. Yeah, no, I really get where she's coming from. Her perspective on life is fascinating, deep, intellectually riveting, and honestly, probably a good case study when she dies, which will probably be in a couple of years due to either health complications or living condition hazards, so to speak. Proximity, you could say. we should check her brain or the frontal lobe and see if it's there. just for science, okay? But what a wonderful little side stop, a little road less traveled for brainstem to kind of figure out what's going on in the mind of the average American black. But it's not just American blacks. There are other blacks, and there are a lot of them. And I do agree with the gentleman earlier who said we should, I think it was Paulie B, who said we should import 1 billion of them, because worry not. If you think that, you know what, America needs more diversity, do not worry. We have some great stock just waiting to be imported. Actually, I look in the background. Maybe this isn't America. Maybe I'm just like, oh my gosh. Or somewhere where they speak English or have English signs anyways. But I assume this was Africa just by the clientele at the establishment. Just this is America though, isn't it? Like this image, we have old Colonel Sanders up here, the mascot for KFC, a Southern gentleman, so to speak. And we have the results of the South losing their war for independence, just thronging about him in their unwashed math.
It's not stereotype, folks. Everyone loves fried chicken. Even
some of them love it a little too much. Some of them don't have any impulse control, right? That's the problem, Mr. Don Keith. I don't know anything about Don Keith. Maybe he's cool, maybe he's not. But that looks like a nightmare. You know what you should do if you ever run into a situation like that? You're at your little goy slave wage job, you're a wagey for the man, and you see that thronging about your doors as you're about to open up. I think maybe you should just end it, or at least walk out, because the job's not worth it, bro. Somebody's getting shot on their shift. But while we're talking about, America and Americans, we have a new reverse map, okay? We have many black maps, many nigga maps, okay, as they're known, but we have fewer white maps. And this one here I take particular pride in because I happen to live in one of the states with a above average intelligence quota. All right. So the IQ using 5 ranges. So 92 is the most white, which ironically, and the highest 102 to 104 is the darkest. And the darkest is, of course, the upper Midwest. Yes. Idaho. Well, actually, no, wait, not even Idaho. No, yeah, that's Idaho, right? Am I retarded? That's Idaho. Yeah. Idaho. Not quite Idaho, Montana up there, and the upper Midwest and all those. The least ethnically diverse places in the U.S., and including the Northeast as well, of course, happen to be the most intelligent. Now, of course, I only moved here a few years ago, and I did move out of Washington State, but at least Washington State was still at the upper end, of course. Not the top echelon, but the upper end. And I do love it when, liberals and lefties try and use these sorts of maps to say, like, look how dumb Southerners are. Look how dumb those magatards are. And you're like, I don't know. I don't think that's showing what you think it's showing there, sir. I don't think it's doing so hot there, bro. I don't think it's doing so hot. And it just is what it is, bro. It's like you live in a white state. Yeah, your IQ's higher. You live in a less white state. Sorry, your IQ's quite a bit lower. Texas, I don't know how Texas is sitting around 100, or at least, between 98 and 100. I don't know how Texas is doing that. Now, maybe it's only because they're polling citizens, right? Because you have a lot of Nons and a lot of Mexicans and a lot of Indians there. So I don't know how that's holding on, but it's doing better than some so far. All right. Well, being 112 is really good. That's a full standard deviation above average. So, I mean, you're in kind of that dangerous midwit zone where you're smarter than average, but you're not like super smart, right? So there's a lot of people between like 110 and 130 who are like really smart people, but they're not quite smart enough to really pull off, whatever it might be that they're trying to do. It's kind of like you're smart enough to know that you want to do big things, right? That you're very confident, you're very you have big dreams, or you have big plans, but maybe not quite enough there to actually pull it off. Whereas a lot of people in the middle just kind of like do well enough, and they just like they don't have the big aspirations, so they don't reach farther than their skills allow them to. So 112 is quite good though. Just don't be the dangerous midwit. Okay. All right, one funny one to end it all off, and then we're going to get out of here and never talk about any of this stuff ever again. Okay, but we have here a nice young gentleman who is attempting to make his getaway, and Cody just shared this with me before the stream, and it was so funny that I had to show you guys. Okay, you guys will get a kick out of this. So, Baltimore, Maryland, an attempted theft ended with a suspect stuck. A neighbor reportedly captured the man trying to escape while carrying a backpack. His getaway took an unexpected turn when he attempted to climb over a tall metal gate. He does make it over, but not necessarily in one piece. And when I originally saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to be so bad. Like, he has no support. He's falling. There's nothing he can do. He is just going to be impaled. And this is going to be he's going to end up crying in a puddle of his own blood. And he's going to be crying, I didn't do nothing, but it doesn't quite end that bad. But here we go. Ugh. Also, you have to know it's bad when there's just people walking by on the street and they're like, yeah, that's a thief. There's another word. And we're just not going to do anything. We're just going to let that one ride. He can sit there and anally impale himself, which would be an impairment, I suppose. And we'll just let that one ride out. We'll just let that one be. And the neighbor who's recording him is just like, all right.
Tell them to go back.
Is this a form of lynching? Like a self-lynching, though? He's like, they were hanging me up by my pants. We was lynched by our underwear back in the day, sir. That's why we wear our pants so low, because back in the day, they used to hang us by our belts. So we don't wear no belts. We hang our pants nice and low, because they used to hang us. White people used to hang us by our pants. Like, just walks off. Now, if you didn't live in a city, you could have shot the guy a couple of times. Just make sure it's not in the back, and then like put a knife in his hands or something. You could have made it look convincing at least. But here you have a neighbor just watching your neighborhood activities as the man just gets, almost impaled, not quite impaled, but he certainly didn't have a great day. Yeah, also ironic, he probably could have just opened the door. I'm not sure if there's a lock mechanism on there, but okay, what would be really funny is if you went over there and grabbed one of his hands and just pulled him back down towards you. Like, no, you're not getting away. And just put those spikes straight into his stomach. Right? Just like, no, you're not getting away. No, you can sit and twirl literally until the cops arrive. No. It's not going to kill you. Okay, maybe. It is just going to, it'll leave a mark. I'll let the EMTs take care of you. Vlad maxing's true. The fence yearns for the ornaments. They was trying to make us into wind chimes and shit. We was fence decorations. All right. Amarai Boy for 5 says, Wisconsin peeps, write your state rep so we can get our laws changed regarding SBR, SBS, and cans. And remember to go vote in November because Tom is better than Crowley. Last name of Crowley. That shouldn't be difficult to be better than. Yeah, but for you guys who are in weird NFA states, yeah, get your laws changed, bro. Come on, get on that. Understand for once for $10, says John. Go on their website and check more infos about the adapter so you can give it to the right person that actually needs it. I will. I'll do all that. Not a problem. I mean, if it's just a standard 1375 by 24, or if it's a type A or type B, I'll figure it out. So you can give it to the right person who actually needs it. You could call me to talk a second about that giveaway if you have time. I mean, if you just want to talk, I can talk to you. I don't mind. I appreciate you doing the giveaway. I'll give you a call because I think I have your email and your number on there. Thank you, Understand for once. Moonman for 2 says she's about to teach us how to make tap water. I don't want to know what that means because I don't know how to make tap water. I don't drink the stuff, so I don't care. Thank you, Moonman. Moonman for 5 says I got in the highest 99th percentile when I took my GED to get my license like 15 years ago and was like, damn, I am not that smart. Something is awry. Well, there are many such cases. You know, I placed highly in my GED as well, okay, as a fellow GED maxer. Also, I thought you were older. If you only got your GED 15 years ago, your license 15 years ago, that means you're only a couple years older than me. How do you do, fellow millennial? Thank you, Moonman. Appreciate that. Graham Bergda for 5 says, I'm in Mississippi for the first time this week. Out in town, all I see are bonnets. It's wild. Also, I'd love to see this map by county. Christ is king. Well, yes, the county maps usually are crazy. So, you know, there are a couple of Mennonite and Amish or indirectly Amish like settlements out here in South Dakota. And there are some towns where, yes, you'll just go down and you'll see a group of like, you know, a husband and a wife with the husband will have a big old beard, not the wife. The husband will have a big old beard and the wife will be wearing a bonnet and a nice little dress. And then they'll have like 12 little kids running around behind them in suspenders and overalls and hats and dresses. And it's very nice. It's very quaint. It's very wholesome maxing. Thank you, Graham Bergdorf. Atlas Freeman for $5 says, did you end up covering the Amos Ferrier story in Minneapolis? He was an Army friend of mine whose life was taken by the usual suspects. Well, let me go search that one real fast. We cover a lot here, so I'm not sure if we have covered that one specifically. Let me pull that up. I believe we did. But I mean, I got time. I will pull this back up for you. I'm very sorry to hear that, Atlas Freeman, though. That is gone too soon and an absolute waste. Taken from you, taken from his family, I imagine. Veteran Amos Ferrier killed in attempted Minneapolis car theft. 2 arrests made. Friends and coworkers are mourning Amos Ferrier, a veteran killed during an attempted car theft in South Minneapolis. Ferrier was known for helping other veterans readjust to life after combat and worked at Rick's Coffee Bar. Good for him. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara said 2 women were arrested in St. Paul on Tuesday in connection with Ferrier's death. Friends, coworkers honor Amos Ferrier's life and legacy. Ferrier was at every third Saturday, the nonprofit that runs Rick's Coffee Bar, for a graduation ceremony on Friday when he confronted 2 people trying to steal his pickup truck. Police say as the suspects tried to drive away, Ferrier ended up on the hood of their car and was carried about a block before being thrown from the vehicle and hitting his head on the pavement. Man. He died at HCMC 2 days later. Tom McKenna, co-founder of Every Third Saturday, said he was full of life. You always knew when Amos was in the room. McKenna added, the mood is pretty upbeat. We want to reflect on his life, and still we have to mourn. Friends say Ferrier was a big guy with a big laugh and an even bigger heart. The coffee shop where he helped veterans get back on their feet is now closed due to the loss of a man who felt like family. Well, you know what? I do have to see the photos now, so give me 1 second and I will find them, because I feel like there's an image that they're just not showing me. Now, why are they lying to me? Why are they leaving this out? This article's leaving it out. This article's leaving it out. Why are you lying to me? I know who he was killed by. Just show me the pictures. Would you please? You don't hate the media enough. If I have to go through like 12 articles to find a photo of the perp, 18 and 19 years old, the two women, quote unquote, who murdered Amos. Come on. You can do it. Are you kidding me? Every article that I go to does not have the photo of the women. And I use that term extremely loosely. Why can't they just show me the video? Or not the video, but the picture. I mean, we all know, right? But just, there it is. Thank you. Finally. Article number 12. I finally found it. Rinia Allen, 19, and Jayla Frost, 18, on Tuesday in connection with Ferrier's death, KSTP reported they have both been booked into Hennepin County Jail on suspicion of first-degree murder. That's a woman? No. That's not a woman. In any sense of the word. That's a dude. That's a thing, right? I mean, that passes for a woman in their culture, I think. But that's just a dude. Jalea. What an absolute waste. I am very sorry for your loss, sir. I am glad to hear that Amos was a good man who helped out, who volunteered, who did what he could, and he was taken far too soon. I would say a word of advice to those out there: if somebody is breaking into your car, stealing your car, just because they appear to be foids, do not underestimate their evil and their willingness to kill you and your family. And I also would recommend, like, if they're going to steal your car, if you're not going to end it with extreme violence, you should not allow them to run you over or jump on the car or attempt to hijack the car, because we've seen this multiple times where somebody tries to stop someone from stealing their car and ends up dead. Whether like the grandma who was dragged for a mile behind the car or trapped in the car door, or this guy who jumped on the hood of the car, it's absolutely not worth it. In no way, shape, or form is it ever worth it. I don't care how much the vehicle is worth. You can recover the vehicle. You can never recover your life. I do not recommend getting in front of any woman driver, let alone a black woman driver, and allowing them to attempt to murder you, because they will do it. Moonman for 5 says, past tense your local senator. Is that a good idea? Not sure. Maybe try it out. That's right. You never know until you try, right? That's going to look great on a deposition. Obviously jokes, Moonman. Dillweed for 5 says, am I the only one who thinks the Andrew Candace debate is overhyped because nothing happened except some petty drama and useless division? Yes, I think it was an absolute waste of time. $300,000 to Candace to fund her lifestyle and her mission was retarded. Like, in what benefit do any of us have giving $300,000 to Candace? And then Andrew Wilson alleged, like, his kind of cope, if you will, is that he wasn't allowed to push very hard or else she would just leave. And she had told them ahead of time, if Andrew's mean, I'm just going to leave. So then Andrew was kind of like hamstrung because he couldn't even be mean. And again, I don't know if that's entirely true or whatnot, but it just seems like everybody's coping and seething and there's just this huge falling out and nobody gained anything out of it. Like, listen, those of us that believe Candace is retarded, like, you know, Black Void, obviously, right? We still believe that. And the people that thought that, well, she's just asking questions and the mainstream narrative is weird and I don't like Andrew, well, they're going to come away with, yep, the mainstream narrative is still weird and I still don't like Andrew. So it didn't do anything for anyone. I guess it was entertaining for a while. There were some funny clips, but yeah, I do agree that, you know, what, a week on from it, it's like nobody gained anything from that other than Candace's pocketbook. Subarctic Noticer for 5 says, listen, liberal. Some of us are still pulling real overtime hours. $1 trillion to isn't real. Spreading some of that sweet, sweet overtime. Christ is king. Christ is king. Thank you very much, Subarctic Noticer. Very based of you. Very based and overtime pilled. All right. Yeah, I mean, for some people, they live for overtime. You know, it's like when my brother was working at a mill. You know, if you work here 40 hours a week, that's nothing. Who cares about that? You want to work 60. You want to work 70. You want to work 80 hours because that's where you make the real money, right? Is actually getting that sweet, sweet overtime. So some people are like, yeah, Joe, just get me into work 5 days a week, 16-hour days, and I'm happy. You know what? On the weekend, I go fishing and I work on my car. It's like, fair enough, you know, or you hang out with your family or whatever else that you got to do. And that's their life. And that's okay. That's okay for some people got to be the backbone of the world. Okay. Some people actually got to get the work done. They actually got to make the things, and that's fine. If you love doing it, great job. Do it well. Thank you, Subarctic Noticer. Appreciate you, good sir. All right, I think that's it. I think we're all caught up, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I think was there one more over here? Or am I crazy? No, I am crazy. Okay, there is not one more. We are all done, ladies and gentlemen. I know, terribly short stream today, only 3 hours long. We've been pulling like 4-6 hour streams last couple. Fortunately, this one's not that bad. But rest in peace, Amos. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out, supporting lurkers in the chat. Love you guys as well. Never forget about the lurkers. Those are the real ones. Honestly, the majority of the listeners are lurkers. I appreciate you just as much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your week. Finish it out strong, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll be here on Friday, another community games night, plus a regular stream. We'll probably be playing Halo Master Chief Collection. I'll try and drop the Discord link to everyone here. If you want to hang out, if you can pass the rigorous, what's the word I'm looking for? It gets too late in the stream and my words stop wording and my brain stops braining. But you know what I'm talking about, okay? Get in there, pass the airlock, and you'll be good to go. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one. Christ is king. God is good. Godspeed. God bless.
The glamour waking up. Shut it down. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Ay, they got slimed up by Stalin. Throw my daddy in a coffin. I'm a Jew, Finkelstein. My uncle, my grandma was lying. I was pulled up on me mom, ayy. Put her in the count, ayy. Told her get a word or be turned into a lamb, ayy. Died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Ay, they got slimed up my grandma and my aunt in 1945. They were getting fucked up. Stalin put up on me pa. Put him in the count, then his op sprayed his ass with the fucking chop. My mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin. Me mom died in a Harley. Me pa was killed by Stalin.